to run. Leave behind the said and done. Figure out what's to come. Reasons, all the bigger things I can't ignore. I'm not getting what I came here for. Gotta get ahead of something more. So I think I found a new way out, way beyond a shadow of doubt. 'Cause I can't breathe. And I guess I could be stronger now and leave it up to fate somehow. But I'm doing this for me. Give it up, baby, I'm not fooling anyone. Always going on and on. Can't you keep it to yourself for once? Oh, I think I found a new way out, way beyond your shadow of doubt. And I can't breathe. Oh, I hope you're keeping count of all the times you let me down, and all the things you said out loud, the bullshit I could cry about. And I know we could be stronger now and leave it up to fate somehow. But everything I do for me.
I get lost sometimes and I can't seem to find a light between the walls I built for myself right in my mind. And then you came over and you showed me love that I never had seen before. And now when I got you, it's all gonna be alright. Thinking about all the things we did tonight. What a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you can put my fire out. You can turn it all around. You can lift me off the ground so we can fly again, so we can fly again. I've been trying hard not to go out of my mind. And all I need right now is for you to stay the night. But if you keep saying that you've got to leave, then I'm gonna be alright. As long as you tell me that we ain't running out of time. Thinking about all the things we did tonight. What a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you can put my fire out. You can turn it all around. And you can lift me off the ground so we can fly again, so we can fly again.
decay more slowly than stationary particles. As strange and counterintuitive as it seems, time dilation is a law of nature.
your feet. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Come on, get loose with the heat. Right now, pick up body till we black out. So get the fuck up.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Simplay Motorsport. My name's Dan Davis, and we are here for round 2 of the GT3 Pro Championship. Joining me in the commentary box once again is my good friend and rival, Big Boy Brasier. Jamie, how are we doing this fine evening?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Dan. Are we looking forward to tonight?
Well, after the chaos that came across the last night in the Pro-Am, I am certainly looking forward to tonight's racing here at Road America. And also, Jamie, this is the first time in 6 seasons that we have raced at Road America, and it's definitely a very unique track for sure.
Oh yeah, it's definitely very unique. The curbs around here are lethal as anything. You've got to be very careful on those curbs that D-Big's just gone past. They can spit you off the track either which way. And with the tyres as well, it's a bit of a crossover point as well, so it'll be interesting to see what all the drivers do with them.
Yeah, definitely. So as we are racing in the morning here at Road America, and just before we get into the more details of this evening, Jamie, first things first, Disco McDisco Face will be serving a qualifying ban for race 1 after retiring at Sakito, and he can do the practice session, but once it's qualifying he will have to stay in the pits. And it's just a reminder to all the drivers just to finish the races, score points. You know, we encourage drivers to do it, and this season we've encouraged it even more, and they're going to get penalised if they don't finish.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, even if they finish last, they're still getting points. I think both Ferraris have just spun off at that corner. Peace has just gone back to the pit. But yeah, you just need to finish every race. Say, like, even if you finish last, say for example, Overtaker or Matt finishes last, those points could be quite handy at the end of the season, whereas they could have retired and lost all those points.
Yeah, definitely so, and all those points count up, excluded from last season where me and Andy pretty much went to the final race, 1 point separating the two of us. So literally every point matters, especially in relegation and demotion points as well. And a quick hello to everybody in the chat. Nice to see the chat is up and going. PN Motorsport, Hunter Daniel, That Buzzy Boy, JR Sim Racing, Disco McDiscoface, Mike Matthews aka Peaceful, and Green Pies. Good night, good evening everyone. And we are looking forward to a fantastic night's worth of racing. A little bit of fact about the circuit here. It's 4.0 miles long, 6.5 kilometers if you want to know it in kilometers. It's got 14 corners, and most famously known for running the Indy cars here. And yeah, it's very much a Marmite circuit, this track, just as Sakito was a week ago. It's nice to have Road America on the course, but Jamie, is it a favourite of yours, or is it kind of like a don't really like it, meh kind of track?
I'd say it's probably a bit in the middle. Once you start getting it right, it's really rewarding. But as soon as you make a mistake around here, you're either in the wall or have spun it round. But yeah, it's a very rewarding track when you get it right, and hopefully tonight we'll see a lot of the guys get it right.
Yes, it's a very simplistic circuit for sure. JR Sim Racing, it's on for Dubs, aka Dan Davis, and also Big Boy Brasier as well in your commentary box tonight. So good evening to yourself. And yeah, Road America, it's a very simplistic circuit, but also very rewarding when you get it right. And like we said, a lot of drivers aren't looking forward to this round. But Jamie, what car and driver do you think is going to be the one to keep an eye out for this evening?
I think the two car, or well, I say the two cars. The one car you definitely got to keep an eye out on is that of the BMW of Andy and Disco. Gone to Disco as Andy's in the pits. These cars should be very good off the corners. The corners are quite good, or good for the BMW for traction, so they should do quite well. I can see the Mercedes doing quite well in the first opening part of the lap. And then the second half of the lap, I think probably the Audi is going to come back a bit more. The Lamborghini should do very well tonight, but I see the BMW as being the top dog tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I think the Mercedes, in my opinion, will be the one to beat this evening. But this is your championship standing as it stands in the Pro. It's Overtaker who leads the championships, doing it for Silence of the Lambos. And we got his team name wrong last week by saying Lambs. It's Lambos, as Emo corrected us. He leads the championship with 43 points, only 3 ahead of second place man Matahimovic. Doing it for Jaeger Motorsport in the Mercedes. In third place is your runner-up from last season, Andy, for Slingshot Motorsport, 29 points to his name, 14 behind the top 2. And Sutty Apex currently in that 4th after a great round at Sakito, 19 behind the leader. Fury is in 5th place position with 22 points behind, with Emo Guy in 6th, 25 behind them. Gary currently in 7th place with 18 points, also 25 points behind. It's quite close between those 3. And then we go to 8th place, Peaceful Explosion, 29 points behind on 14 points, with Smoky Devil in 9th place, 13 points to his name, 30 behind. With KLF 900, his second attempt in the Pro, currently 10th in the standings with 12 points to his name. D-Biggs, not the start he would have wanted this season, in 11th, and 11 points to his name in 11th place. With 12th is Disco McDiscoface in 10 points. 13th place is Kieran Argent, who won't be scoring any points as he sadly can't race tonight, and he's on 10 as well. Mazda on 10 in 14th place, and then bringing up the rear is Monkey Boy on 5 and N Plava on 3 points in 16th place after missing race 1. Also, Sutty won't be racing this evening as well. He is busy with his little one and on her birthday. And the team's championships looks like this. Silence of the Lambos lead the way with 61 points, only 3 ahead of Jaeger Motorsport in the Mercedes-Benz. Third is Slingshot Motorsport in the BMW, and fourth is Audio Sport Pro Labs in the Lamborghini, 36. Only 3 points separate Slingshot and Audio Sport. Fifth place is Teletubby Motorsport with 31 points, and sixth place is Pushing Limits Racing in the Audi with 21 points to their name, 40 behind the leader. Seventh is Simplay Racing, the Ferrari duo with 19 points to their name, 42 behind, and bringing up the rear is Smoking Hot Racing with 16 points to their name. That's the championships after one round, Jamie, and the Overtaker has really been the man to beat at Sakito, but in the chat, in the discussions leading up to it, he's not very confident here.
No, but say, I mean, he has just gone 1.4 seconds quicker. So is this a bit of kind of a Mercedes from F1 in the past few years, going, oh no, we're not the quickest, and then coming out and being over a second quicker? But yeah, he definitely threw his marker down at Keto by dominating the first race. Didn't have it all. Ooh, as he gets on, yeah, he gets onto the curb. Oh, and he's round, so he'll probably be going back to the pits. Ooh, manages to keep it there. Yeah, second race didn't go his way. I think, if anything, he needs to just perform better in the reverse grid race. He's possibly not used to the reverse grid race, and just needs to learn how to battle these guys a bit more. So being new to the championship as well, he doesn't know how everyone else races apart from his teammate. So yeah, so he's got to learn very quickly if he's going to get the points in the second race.
Definitely so, and a man to keep an eye out for this evening is this man, Mata Himovic. Obviously next week he will miss Imola, as he is off to Switzerland, even though he keeps telling me he's going to take his PlayStation and do it on the pad, which should be interesting to see. But he will drop a link in the Discord or on Facebook where he is commentating. But good luck to him, and sadly he will miss Imola and he will miss Mexico for the F1. But Jamie, he really has to work hard this evening. Obviously with drop scores gone, double points gone as well, it's going to be difficult for Matt to score good points and really try and get an advantage going away for a week and then coming back to the next round, which I believe is Kota next, which will come back to America.
Yeah, it's just going to be a lot harder for him than all the others, because say he's missing an extra round, so he's got more points to make up, which would make him push that a little bit harder. You might see a few mistakes come from him, but we know how good a driver Matt is, and we know that he'll be up the top no matter what. But yeah, he's said already this season he's not going for the title. His main aim is just to stay up. But with his pace from Sakito last week, he should definitely stay up. But yeah, with him missing next week, it's just going to make that task a little bit harder to keep up with the likes of Overtaker and Andy.
Yeah, definitely so, as JR in the chat says, let's go Emo, and he forgot to say that. But it's going to be interesting. He finds 4/10 there, so he goes into 09s. He has done an 08. I have seen him in the 08, so he's just trying to find the tweaks and just adjustments that he finds happy. The guys who we've got to keep an eye on is Peaceful Monkey Boy and the Ferraris. They were struggling a little bit in practice when I was with him a second ago. Gave him a little bit of a hand tweaking the car a little bit, so hopefully they will help him out a little bit, as they seem to be struggling. But also KLF in the Lamborghini in the midpoint at the minute. He's not too far off Mazda. So one other thing I forgot to mention as well, Jamie, is that tonight Andy will be on his 100th appearance here at Simplay Motorsport in race 2. So race 1 is appearance number 99, and then in race 2 will be that magical 100. And what an achievement that Andy's done. He's slowly catching up with the rest of us in the appearances, and it's nice to see Andy gelling with that BMW. Is this his season to win?
But so it's got to be his season to win it this year. Let's say with you, his main title rival is effectively been taken out of the equation. You've then thrown Overtaker and Matt into the mix. but say Andy having quite a few seasons already in the pro should be the favourite.
Yeah, definitely so. But another thing to mention as well, Fury, if he wins tonight, that will then give him the 25 wins, and he's reached that mark. I think I'm the only person so far who has reached more than 25 wins. But Fury tonight, if he manages to do so, at least wins one race, he will then be at that mark as well. And fantastic job from Fury, considering that a lot of it was done in Pro-Am, but he's still got to win it. He's still got to keep it on the track and score those points.
Yeah, so exactly the same for me. A lot of my wins come in Pro-Am, but you've still got to be there to get the wins. He was in the Pro for season 2, as all D-Bigs gets all over the curve there. So he went down, was in the Pro, struggled a lot in the Ferrari and the Porsche, went into Pro-Am, come back a different driver, and has been able to compete at the top of Pro really well.
Yeah, definitely. So we kept telling him in the off-season, do not get out of that Mercedes-Benz. You'll be a fool if you do so. And he has stayed in it. He's on and on about the Cadillac, but he stayed in the Mercedes, and he's got a teammate of Mazda. And both of them are looking all right so far. Fury already in the 209s. Mazda currently in 9th in the 211s. So Mazda still got to find some pace, but nonetheless, it's going to be an interesting night. One thing we got to mention as well tonight, Jamie, is the start-finish line. It's very, very tight here at Road America. When we get going, you'll see what I mean. The cars are so close to one another. They're not staggered either. They are right next to one another. Looks like Andy's had a trip in the wall. He's got a bit of damage to the front end. But it's going to be an interesting start. It could be a complete clean first lap or a complete nightmare.
Yeah, say from the practice races we've had, it's been a bit of a nightmare getting off the grid. Say, the start line kind of reminds me of the one at Snetterton. Snetterton's quite a narrow grid, so we've seen a couple of years ago Hunter Abbott rolling off the start line. I believe that was 2016. Yeah, so it's a long. It looks quite similar to the Snetterton starting grid and Alton Park for that matter. But yeah, the guys have just got to be very careful getting it off the line. We don't want to see any incidents off the line. Just so there's 18 laps. It's not one on the first corner.
No, definitely not. And obviously, with us running in the early morning sessions as well, what tyre do you run? This is the question. The temperature here at Road America, especially in the early morning, is right on that cusp. It's right on 30 degrees, where the softs tend to die, but the hards are just only in their window, but only just. If you were in this situation, Jamie, what would you run?
I'd probably run the hards just because of that corner that Andy's just gone through.
The carousel.
It absolutely kills the soft tyre. The soft tyre is probably the one they're all going to use for qualifying. It would be good over one lap, but over a race, any more than probably about 3 laps, and the soft tyre will be dead.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. So we've now got Gary into the session. He was just a little bit late, but he is into the session. And I have to agree with you. The hard tyre is probably the favourite tyre here this evening. Once the tyre is up to temperature, it's definitely the quicker and better tyres. We're about to go on board with Andy, and I believe, Big Boy, are you going to take us around for a lap round here?
I'll let you take us for a lap round here.
Oh, okay.
You know it better than me.
As we go up the start straight, as we start a lap here at Uqbar's favourite circuit, Road America, down the Road America straight, on board with your runner-up from last season, Andy, down towards turn 1, and make sure you hit your braking point just right, and it's just on the dark patch where people lock up. Get a nice turn in, tend to get a better late apex as Andy touches that curb and it sends him onto the grass. Really uncomfortable there as you then go down towards turn 2, again braking just at the dark patches and getting the car turned in, avoiding the curbs as much as possible because they are absolutely horrid. Down the back straight, down the middle straight towards turn 3 and then end of sector 1. It's all mainly straights here for sector 1 as he's now catched up to the back of the Ferrari. Difficult braking zone, you're downhill, the car's unsettled, you want to brake once again just before the dark patches, and this corner is just over 90 degrees and Andy just too much speed into the hairpin, into the left-hander, and he's gone round. Is he going to carry on? I hope he does because he's on stream. He probably won't now. He'll probably go back to the pits as he's gone back to the pits. Who's in sector 1 there?
Fury is not. We've got Matt coming down.
We'll carry on from Matt here. So we'll carry on from Matt. 24 people are currently watching. Guys, hit that like button if you haven't done so. And hit the bell to be notified for when we are live. And subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. And head over to our Facebook page and our Discord. And if you want to get involved, then make sure you drop a message in and we'll try and get you sorted out. As Matt finally comes down to turn 3. And like I said, this corner, more than just 90 degrees, really catches people out and it tightens on exit. Uphill, another difficult braking zone. You're braking literally as the crest ends. And you've got to turn into turn 4. Really difficult. Thanks,
yeah,
Matt.
Thanks,
Matt.
Matt.
D-Biggs. We will get this lap done, ladies and gentlemen. I promise you. My ex-teammate, he's probably reading my mind right now. Complete this lap. Don't drop it. Imagine you're in the Porsche, D-Biggs. Imagine you're in the Porsche. Right. Up towards the crest. Once again, really difficult braking zone. The car becomes very light and you can't keep it on the ground. D-Biggs keeps it under control and handles it really well. Out of turn 4 into turn 5. You think you can take it quicker than you actually can. And it's very easy to run wide, but he misses the apex but stays on track towards turn 6, hits the braking zone just into the dark patch again, and another slow down corner where you want to get on the power as soon as you can, but those curbs are so lethal. Into the carousel, it takes so long, a whole 180, such a long corner, it takes forever. You think that it's never going to end, and then eventually you see the ending as you come down towards the kink. How brave are you and how well is this car set up? If it's well set up, you can take the kink flat. But unlike Biggs, he's not quite confident enough. As you exit the kink towards the end of sector 2, crosses the beam, and it doesn't see if he's on an outlap by the sounds of things, and then into the final corners, into Canada corner, braking zone here, and again, it's difficult. You can take the early entry and come out wide, but a wider entry exit is much better. Flat through these couple of sections, maybe a little lift as D-Biggs has to. He touches the grass onto the curb and then into the final corner. It's always moving, this corner. It's never straight, so you have to brake while turning. Get a good exit out the final corner, because as you drag yourself back up the hill, you come back towards Road America straight. And that is a lap around Road America. And if you do a good lap time, you're in the 208s, 209s. But if you're struggling here, it looks like you're going to be in pro-am pace with a 210, 211s. And we finally got there, Jamie. We finally got there.
Yeah, we finally got there in the end. Is there anyone in practice at the minute who's surprising you at all, looking at the times?
Currently, D-Biggs is the man who's surprising me. I didn't think he would be this comfortable in the Audi. He does look very happy at the minute in that car. Smokey as well. Emperor and Smokey, very similar paces between those two, only separated by a couple hundreds actually between them. So those two, Smoking Hot Racing, looking very, very good. And as Smokey comes into, Emperor comes into the pits. That reminds me, the pit window for this evening, the pros have it different to the Pro-Am. The Pro-Ams have a pit window, a pit slot, as they can pit from a certain lap and they can pit right into the end. For the pros, they have to pit within a certain window, and for them tonight, it's lap 3 to the end of lap 11. So when do these guys choose to lap as well? And the other thing as well, Jamie, as we're about to go into qualifying, it's a 2-minute lap qualifying session. If you're going to go the hard strategy, do you put a little bit more fuel in and try and get the hards to work, or do you just go for a flat-out soft setup?
I think, say they would have been testing this in practice just now, but if I were them, I would probably go on a soft tyre, not put the hards on. I reckon the soft tyre will be quicker in qualifying. You just got to look after them on the outlap. Have we got anyone coming to the line? No. Who is the first person? It would be Fury. He's halfway around the track. But yeah, I reckon as long as you look after those soft tyres on the outlap, you should be all right. But then again, the hard tyres seem to warm up within on the second flying lap.
Well, see, both of us would have different strategies then. I would be going out on the hard tyre, fueling the car a little bit so that by the end of the session, when the hard tyres are in their perfect window, I will be on the lowest amount of fuel. Because I feel like the harder tyre has more pace here at Road America, as Fury has found 3/10, so he is up on his time. Can he get ahead of the Overtaker by the end of this session? So that's what they would do. Guys, get your votes in on who you think...
He's lost it.
Got a little bit too greedy on Canada corner. Andy exits the Canada corner as well, and he's all over the grass. Guys, get your votes in on who you think's going to take pole position. It definitely won't be Disco Face. as he has got a qualifying ban for race 1. And we are reminding drivers that they need to finish the race. Gary struggling a little bit there with 2-minute 18s as Andy drops it again. Where is
that's Monkey Boy now coming around through Canada corner. There are 2 people that are surprising me at the minute, looking at the times, and that's Andy and Mazda, both over 2 seconds off the Overtaker's fastest lap. And say Andy was saying that he could do a 2:06. I know, and Monkey Boy gets that corner all wrong as well and ends up in the wall. So I think the last person now is Gary, who looks like he's finished.
And that is the end of your practice session, and it is Overtaker who is the fastest man of the session, once again at the top of the table here at Simplay Motorsport for the second round of the championship. And Jamie, we got to put a prediction in. Who's going to take pole position here tonight at Road America?
I'm gonna put my money on Fury for pole position. He was up on his time in that final bit. If he can keep the car under control, Fury. But if Fury starts doing the Fury and starts getting a little bit annoyed with himself, then it would be Overtaker. But I'm gonna have faith in Fury.
Ukbar says pole for Overtaker for pole. I'm going to go different. I'm going to go Mate Himovic for pole. I've seen what lap times he can do in that Mercedes, and I reckon he can do it. Guys, get your votes in. Ukbar has given 1 to Overtaker. I've given 1 to Matt, and Ukbar says good luck to the pros in the chat. And Big Boy Brasier has gone Fury as well. But this man, all eyes are set on him. Is he a man who just qualifies on pole and disappears into the distance? Does he does a Vettel and struggle with the race craft? Or is he going to prove us wrong in the reverse grid this week and is able to fight his way through the pack? A little bit of a wiggle there, but like I said, Jamie, with it being such a long circuit here, 2 minutes, they can't mess around with this outlap. They either got to take it easy, get the tyres up to temperature, as Overtaker allows Emo Guy through.
Yeah, so by the time they've come around to do 1 flying lap, that's pretty much half the session gone. So there's people still not out of the pits yet. KLF and obviously Disco can't leave the pits, but KLF has only now just left the pits. I can just see his white dot crossing the line, so he's already lost near enough 2 minutes of this session. He's already lost pretty much one lap.
Well, I know my dad. If anyone didn't know, KLF 900 is my father. Like I know him, he actually hates the hard tyre, so he won't be too worried that he's out this late. He will probably be putting the softs on, and I know that for a fact. So Kelly, not probably worried about it too much, but he's also probably got clean air. Where is he on track? We know Emo Guy is the first man across the line. He's well on his own. The only person in the pits is Disco, because he has to serve that pit stop. He has to serve that ban. But it is going to be Emo Guy who's going to set the first lap here tonight. And so far it's Overtaker for 1, Fury for 1, and Mate Himovic for 1. Guys, get your votes in. There's 19 people currently watching. Who do you think is going to take pole position as they're about to get underway and start their first flying laps? As we go on board with Emo Guy right now as we head towards turn 1. Can he hook this Lamborghini up? It's been a while since we've seen Emo Guy back in his Lamborghini, his traditional 666, and he won a couple of races in this car a few seasons ago. Can he return to winning ways here at Simplay Motorsport? He just needs to nail this lap as Emo Guy gets a good exit out of turn 2 towards turn 3 he goes, and very good overtaking opportunity down into turn 3, isn't it, Jamie?
Yeah, it's a very good overtaking opportunity. You just got to be very careful of where the person you're trying to overtake brakes. Say there, I remember a little bit in practice with me and Dean side by side down the straight. I braked a bit earlier, Dean didn't, and he just got caught out by it. But as well, I think there was an incident last night where Holty came to lap who was it?
Sharon,
and just misjudged his braking. So yeah, they've got to be careful of that. As
look who's in the pit.
I wonder whether he's had damage.
Well, he's made a mistake somewhere. He's had to get back in the pits. He needs to get out as soon as he possibly can. The other thing is, look at that gaggle of cars after Emo Guy. There's so many cars with one another, and I believe Monkey Boy is probably in the mix of that. Kelly, who's at the back of that, is just going through the right-hand kink, so he's not too far off these guys. But Emo Guy comes through sector 2. Another good opportunity is Canada Corner, which is coming to now.
Yeah.
Very good to get down the inside if you had a great run through the kink. And good evening to Fury's mum and Fury's granddad in the chat.
I don't think Overtaker is now on his way out of the pits, but he's only say his half the session is pretty much gone. Yeah,
He's
if he couldn't.
He's got really
if he
2
can
attempts
beat-
at this, hasn't he?
Yeah, but the thing is as well, he's quite a way in front of Emo Guy. So Emo Guy coming up over the crest.
This is the benchmark. What is Emo
Gary's
Guy
now
going to
in the
set?
pits.
Gary just struggling with setup. A 2:09.6. So Emo Guy sets the pace there. What is everyone else going to do? I know Monkey Boy was near, as he's gone back into
he's
the
in
pits.
pit.
Everyone
So
making
who-
mistakes. That's Matt's now coming to us.
Andy-
Andy at 2:07.9.
2:07.9.
Typical
Wow.
Andy holding it all in until the end. And Andy goes pole so far. Matt
goes
only
back.
4th.
Goes
As
back
Andy-
into the pit.
I reckon Andy's done that on the soft tyre and gone really low on fuel.
Yeah, we know Andy does go very low on fuel. Mazda's lost it, so Mazda's needs to get back to the pits as soon as possible, because if not, he's not gonna get a lap in. Peaceful is the next person to cross the line. At the minute, D Biggs is second on the grid.
D-Biggs looking very good at the minute in second. That Audi seems to be
Yeah.
hooked up here. Peaceful exiting the final corner. Been struggling with this Ferrari at this track. He's running quite a lot of fuel as well, so that's a shock to see. 22 people currently watching, but it is Andy. None of us thought Andy was going to take pole, and at this minute he is on pole position at 2:07 and towards the line. Peaceful is he goes 7th with a 2:16. Most of these guys just trying to get their tyres in the window. Kelly towards the line on his soft tyres, I know that for sure.
Yeah, Kelly coming to the line. Where is he going to go? He goes up to 7th, so at the minute he is out qualifying Peaceful and Prada. I imagine there's going to be a bit more time.
Oh, Biggs!
D-Big, yeah, Biggs.
That was a little bit cheeky there, Biggs.
Yeah, something to sort of point out as well. There's a little like advertising board in between turns 1 and 2, and Matt will love this because it's about lawnmowers.
He's not on his core this season. 23 people currently watching. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Gary currently on his out lap. Overtaker currently starting his lap as he comes towards the start finish line. And now,
Yeah, Emo Guy's going to be the first one to come. Emo Guy is now going to come up over the crest. Can he improve on 5th place? He needs to find about a 10th of a second to jump Matt. Comes across the line, doesn't
10th
improve.
down. Who's behind him?
Not and D-Biggs is a long way behind. Fury's
Here
now
comes
coming
Fury.
across.
Fury just needs a couple of attempts to get ahead of D-Biggs. Towards the line, does he improve? He does.
He finds a second. Here
He gets
comes
within a
Matt.
10th.
Matt finds 8 tenths. Who have we got next? Smoky Devil comes across the line. Smoky goes 3 tenths quicker. Emplava now. There was someone else in front. I think it's Monkey Boy going
He's
on
on
to
his
a lap. So
he's on his out lap. Emprava next across the line.
doesn't improve, and he's only done a 2:19. So Emplava's really struggling. Who have we got coming down into the final sector? I think
it's
be
Peaceful.
Andy.
Might be Peaceful.
It is Peaceful. So can Peaceful improve? I don't think Peaceful went back. Did Peaceful
No,
go
he
back to the
didn't.
pit?
No, he didn't.
No.
He stayed out. So Peaceful towards the line. Currently a 8th place, a 2:16 towards the line. Is he going to improve? Towards the line he comes. What can he do? He does
Goes
improve.
up.
2:12.
Mazda coming to the line. I don't know if this is an outlap from Mazda. Yeah, that's
is
an
an
outlap. There's a couple more cars coming to the line.
Well, Andy's coming into the final corner. We'll stick with Andy. He
D-Biggs.
looks.
Yep, D-Biggs was one of them. Here comes Andy, but Andy will be on an outlap, so he'll have one lap left. There's a Fury's in the pit, so Fury is done.
Fury
He won't
is
have
done.
enough.
Yeah, Fury is done for the session. He couldn't get close enough to Andy. Andy starts his final lap here. Where is Overtaker? He's in the final corner. It's all down to him. He said he's been struggling with this track, but towards the line he comes. He has done a 2:08. Can he get close to Andy, or can he out-qualify Andy? Towards the line he comes in the Lamborghini.
Goes pole with 2:76. Wow.
That'll be the end of Overtaker's qualifying session. He is done. So that's all he can do.
I think Gary is next. Where can Gary go? Overtaker is back into the pits.
Gary goes
Gary
P4.
goes at P4, out-qualifies his teammate. So
He is out qualifying Matt. Where is Matt on track? As Biggs is mid-sector.
Yeah.
I think we're back to Emo Guy again. And Matt towards the line. Is Matt going to improve? He doesn't.
Matt's
He's got
lost
this
eight.
lap.
Who is
I've cursed him
next?
now, haven't I?
Smokey has crossed the line. He doesn't improve.
Emplava. Where is Emplava?
Emplava comes across the line. I think
So-
Monkey Boy was the one in front. Monkey Boy goes up to 10th. Emplava comes across the line, goes up to 9th. So he's got a decent clean lap in. Where's Mazda? Because Mazda's not set a lap time. There's a car just
Peaceful is going to be the first car to come across the line who won't be able to do another lap. So it is Peaceful Explosion. Then it is Mazda, and then it is D Biggs. So Peaceful's last real attempt here. He exits the final corner. This has to be a good lap. Final corner looked very clean, but towards the line he comes. He's currently 12th and slowest of them all. Has he found a little bit more pace? Towards the line he comes. He finds some pace, but he stays at the back.
Mazda goes up to 7th. Who's next? Who is next?
D Biggs.
D Biggs comes across the line. Can he improve on 6th place? A good qualifying so far for D Biggs. Comes across the line, no improvement.
I think it's Fury is in the pits. It's Andy.
It's Andy. Can Andy improve? Can he find the 3 10 CVs to get in front to qualify Overtaker? Comes to the line.
And he does!
2:07.2. What a lap that is.
That was a fantastic lap there from Andy. Emplava still coming towards the carousel. He has an opportunity to improve. Is that Gary?
That is Gary. Can
Gary.
Yeah, can Gary find about? I think that's about half a second to jump the first Mercedes of Fury, or even put himself on the front row if he finds a second.
Can Gary did what his brother did last night? Firstly, put it on pole and win both races. Gary towards the line. He finds a 100th. He literally finds 100th and he can't improve. Mazda is done. It is now down to Emplava and Monkey Boy.
Oh, Emplava got all on the curb. I don't think he'll improve this lap. Monkey Boy, can he jump KLF? He's got to find about 0.6 of a second. Has a good final corner.
Emplava is done for the session, so we are just waiting on Monkey Boy towards the line. Has he found any more pace in that Ferrari to catch Kelly? He finds some time, but it's not enough. He misses out by a 10th. But it is Andy who takes pole position here at Road America. And it's Overtaker in second with Fury with them as well. And Jamie, just give us a quick run through of the grid.
So on pole position is Andy for the first time this season. Second place is Overtaker. Third, Fury. Fourth is Gary 131. Followed by his teammate Matt Himovich. D Biggs in 6th, the lead Audi. 7th Mazda, a better qualifying from him this week. Emo Guy 8th, Smoky Devil in 9th, Emplava 10th, KLF 11th, Monkey Boy 12th, Peaceful 13th, and the only non-qualifier, Disco Face with his quali ban.
That is your grid order for the third round of the season here at Road America. These guys are about to get all sorted for their race here at Road America.
Ooh, in fact, they're already ready already.
Oh no.
That was very quick.
That was very quick.
And Andy doesn't get a good start. He's been jumped by the Mercedes.
Not sure what's happened there, but we're underway very quickly here, and some of these guys might have to come in early because they haven't got enough fuel. As Overtaker goes into turn 1, and it sounds like chaos.
Wide.
Sounds like chaos behind. What's going on behind? Fury's the only one who survived.
Yes, Monkey Peaceful is up to 4th.
What has happened there? Where is everybody? There's D Biggs, there's Gary.
And D Biggs is going very, very slowly, so I don't quite know what's happened there. Overtaker has gone very wide at the first corner and has somehow got a very, very big lead, a 1.8 second lead to Fury. Matt is now up to 4th. He's got Peaceful on the back of him. Peaceful looking back down the inside. Can Matt hold it? Goes a bit wide and keeps the position.
I'm not sure exactly. Biggs in the chat saying I'm not. He's saying no chance to change setup. I don't know exactly sure. Emo Guy has spun. I'm not exactly sure what's happened here.
Oh, someone's collected him. I think it's Disco.
Disco's him. Everyone's gone off here, and chaos in race 1. I'm not exactly sure what has happened here, but absolute carnage for the first race here. And some of these guys will have to come in early because they have no fuel, because they run their cars as low as possible.
Overtaker should be alright. He's got 51. Fury's got 25. Matt has got 24. Mazda's only got 13, so he's going to have to fill up. Peaceful 53 should be alright. Monkey Boy's alright. And he's got 6.5 litres in. There's the two Ferraris both run wide. Smoky Devil runs wide. Smokey's alright. Kelly is alright. Emo Guy is alright. Gary, question marks over.
Disco's fine.
Disco's fine. And Plava will need to pit for fuel. And D Biggs, who's really struggling, has got a pit as well. So don't really know what's happened there.
I don't either.
There's two cars off. Monkey Boy is one of them.
Yeah, Monkey Boy is one, and Smoky Devil by the looks of it.
Yeah, Smoky Devil's slow. There's Emo Guy now gets back up into 8th place. Overtaker has now got a 2-second lead, but as the gap starts to come back down, Fury gets all on the curb. I think there might be a car. Is there a car off? No, Smokey has come into the pits already, so he will have to pit again, but he won't.
Has he got a drive through? That's the question. If he's in this early, Fury's asking for a restart. Well, no, you're going to have to keep going. Everyone else is in the same situation. So, yeah, I don't exactly know what's happened.
He's pitted. Yeah, I don't. So, I know we've had some issues before with American circuits, thinking back to Laguna Seca, where someone's rear wing just popped off.
Daniel Francis, I believe.
Yeah. I was going to say, I was bouncing all over the track, but then that isn't out of the ordinary. Fury started to pull a bit of time.
And this is the man who wants to restart the race.
Yeah, he's now, I think he's realised that the race isn't being restarted and put a bit between his teeth. Matt is a further 4.7 seconds back with his good friend Mazda behind. And Andy's got back up to 5th after his awful start. Peaceful is in 6th. KLF is in 7th. Oh, he's in the wall.
I'm not sure what's happened there. Kelly's right into the wall. He looks like he's all on his own there. So Kelly not having the best start here to Road America, as the pit window is about to open in a lap's time. So at the end of lap 3, these guys can all pit. And D Biggs with massive damage. Most of these guys should be able to get back into lap 3 and fuel up. But a lot of people also said that that's the other thing that Bozzy's just made a very good mention there. Radiators. Some people might have closed the radiators. So, who knows?
Yeah, we don't know. We just don't know at this point. Andy has got to pit this lap. And he's got to pit this lap. So Andy there's going to be question marks over what's going to happen there, because I think the session's bugged out. But at the minute, Andy would have to pit again because he's pitted before the pit window.
Yeah, I really don't know what's happened here. The session appears to have bugged out, as you say, Jamie. The problem with the American circuits, we do have to run a normal lobby, and it's not really been the start that everyone probably would have wanted. Another car off in the background. Who is that? Disco just behind. It looked like Gary's at a moment on his own. So
he has, because D Biggs has got past him. Gap between Fury and Overtaker is kind of stayed the same this last one on the pit lap. It's coming down a little bit now as they come through the corner. And Andy in the pits has got going. He's got 73 litres in now. Smokey is the only person behind. I
don't know if we should restart this, because a lot of these guys are moaning and complaining. It's a tricky one. It's all down to me at the minute.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I think what we'll do, if Matt's listening to the stream or somebody, we will restart. We will restart this session, as I feel it was a little bit unfair.
Oh, Overtaker's just gone off.
Yeah, a lot of cars going off here.
I think just gone off as well.
I think what we'll do, we'll restart the session, as I feel like most of these guys will not have been prepared for that. So we'll restart the session and we'll get back in a moment's time. the stream will still be live.
I've been counting down the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now. So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been staring at the sun in my eyes. I've been keeping on the run every night. But you're too far away to see the signs. So I'm staring at the sun till I'm dry. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been counting down the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now. So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been staring at the sun in my eyes. I've been keeping on the run every night. But you're too far away to see the signs. So I'm staring at the sun till I'm dry. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been counting down the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now. So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been staring at the sun in my eyes. I've been keeping on the run every night. But you're too far away to see the signs. So I'm staring at the sun till I'm dry. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been counting down the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now. So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been staring at the sun in my eyes. I've been keeping on the run every night. But you're too far away to see the signs. So I'm staring at the sun till I'm dry. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been counting down the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies for that. A little bit of a mix-up there with the lobby. Seemed like it lagged out for a second there. But we are back, Jamie, and we're going to have to do a rolling start. Most of the drivers weren't happy about the way the order was after that. So we are having a rolling start, which is going to change, make less incidents happen in turn one, for sure.
Yeah, say off the grid there weren't any incidents, but say there was definitely an incident at turn one that held everyone up bar Overtaker. So
Yeah.
it's a second bite of the cherry for Andy because he had an awful first start.
Yeah, he did have an awful first start. I think it's because due to the fact that we suddenly got going out of nowhere. But this is the running order. It will be Andy who is on pole position and will lead the pack away. Overtaker in second. Third is Fury. Fourth is Gary. Fifth is Matt. Sixth is D-Big. Seventh is Mazda. Eighth is Emo Guy. Ninth is Smoky Devil. 10th is Emprava. 11th is Caleb. 12th is Monkey Boy. 13th is Peaceful. And bringing up the rear is Disco in 14th place. Now, the important thing for these guys now is it being a rolling start. They have to make sure they don't hit one another and they get temperature. Andy will control the pace, and he has a choice from when he leaves the final corner to the start-finish line on when he wants to get going. He can't change the pace. He can't go stop-starting all the time. He has to choose the right time to go. 16 laps here, obviously, the extra lap for the formation, and hopefully we should be able to get going in a moment's time as the guys are just making their final tweaks. And I think KLF on pole position, he'd be happy with that, wouldn't he?
Yeah. Teddy will be ringing you any second to say, can we start like this?
As they just all sync up now. The last thing they want to do as well is get a drive-through. So all these guys have to try and get themselves into order. As the lights do come on, some of them might do a practice start here if they want to. But they get away now. So it is Andy who should be on pole position with Overtaker just behind him. And Fury should be in that third place position as well. Then it's Gary followed by Matt as Andy then leads into the front of the pack. D-Big should be in 6th place position as he'll start to feed their way through. Matt's just taking his time. He's staying at the back for some odd reason when he should be at the front.
I think he's just probably waiting for that back straight to come.
Yeah, as Andy does need to just slow down a little bit as most of the pack still hasn't sorted themselves out. Disco right to the back.
There is a bit of a gap. Yeah, so there's not really a clean way through at the minute.
So Gary needs to get moving forward. Gary needs to start moving up towards Fury.
Yeah,
Andy needs to back the pack up now.
Andy's gone. This is kind of like a normal. It is kind of like a normal formation lap where you see all the cars disappear, but there's a massive gaggle here. So I think Matt is. Once they get past D-Bigs, they're in the correct position. Mazda should be Mazda behind.
I believe it was Mazda in front of Emo Guy, so we are in the correct order by the looks of things. Yes, we are. That is it. So the guys have managed to sort themselves out.
Andy now looks to be back in the pack up. Now, when is going to be the correct time to go for Andy? Because that is a very long straight. Fury has just gone sideways through that corner. That's not what you want to be doing on the formation lap, Fury.
Definitely not, as these guys will now start to back themselves up. Andy is obviously trying to get the pace going a little bit so we can get underway. And again, apologies guys for the mix-up. I believe it was a lobby setting issue that I had. But these guys are all now getting themselves ready to start this race. Andy needs to start backing the pack up now as he comes towards the final end of the section.
Yeah, say look, there's a gag, one massive gaggle, and then back to Mazda. There's another massive gaggle. And then after Smokey, I think it is, Bravo then needs to catch up onto the backs. But I think Andy's now trying to back them all up. These two need to be careful. This is the only problem I have with leaving. Gary has dropped right off the back as well.
Yeah, they're not too far away.
Yeah,
Andy
I think
just
everyone
needs
is
to...
now within.
Andy is just pulling away a little bit there. Overtaker not really sticking with him, but the rest are keeping a nice, decent gap as Andy now brings the pace down as he doesn't want to go too slow. and then cause an accident.
Overtaker is pretty much in the passenger seat next to him.
As they exit the final corner, it is Andy who's on pole position here at Road America. A little bit different to how we normally run it, but it is Andy who will start this race. He starts off and he comes up the hill, and Andy is gone, and we are away here at Road America. Finally, lap 4 to lap 12 will be the pit window now. So Andy leads this race, but Overtaker has had a great start.
He's going to force Overtaker to the outside. Is Overtaker going to... No, Overtaker thinks better of it. Where's Fury?
Fury going sideways into turn 1. Gary's gone off into turn 1, and Overtaker right onto the back of Andy there as they go down into turn 2, and Fury's just on the back of him.
Disco's gone off as well, so that's not a good start for Disco.
But it is Andy who leads the way.
It's the top 4 that have got away. D-Biggs has then got a gap, and then got a massive gap. Here comes the Overtaker. No, he's on the ground.
He's dropped it. Where's Overtaker? Let's get on board with him. Let's go on board with Overtaker. He's all over the shot. Oh, he's got it together.
Yeah, Matt was on the grass as well, but he's managed to keep ahead of D-Biggs. Has anyone else had a bit of a problem? Peter probably won't be very happy because he's dropped back down. KLF going up the inside of Empalava, I think that was, and doesn't quite get the job done. Mazda up into 6th place, Overtaker down to 5th, but the worst start probably has to go be Gary. He's lost so many positions. Caddy looking at the inside of that monkey boy on the grass.
Yeah, so Andy not just defending a little bit hard there from Overtaker, and Overtaker has dropped down to 5th place position. Fury is now in the pound seat to try and pressurise Andy as they go through a carousel. Kaylee is right on to the back of Emprava as Peaceful's dropping down the order again as Monkey Boy and Peaceful drop to the back of the pack there, and Disco on a recovery drive. But Fury only 4 tenths behind Andy right now as Overtaker's right onto the back of D-Biggs.
Yeah, has a look into that corner, doesn't get the job done there. Smokey is on the back of Emo Guy as well. That's Mazda running a bit wide. He gets it on the curb, and Emo Guy gets the job done on him.
As Kelly's looking to make a move on Emplava into the final corner by the looks of things. And he's not quite close enough this time. He must have had a little wiggle, but he's got Gary right behind him as well. Fury, 6 tenths. Matt, the second behind those. But D-Biggs is under massive pressure from Overtaker right now. There's a tenth separating them. They're side by side. As they go down to turn 1, they go. Overtaker looks like he's got the legs on the Audi, and towards turn 1 they go. It is Overtaker who then moves back up into 4th place position after his little spin. Let's move back to Emo Guy, who's under a lot of pressure from Smokey's under pressure from Mazda.
Oh, and he gets a tap up the rear from Emplava. And here comes Gary as well. Gary trying to recover. Got up the inside of Kelly.
Poor Kelly is in a sea of Mercedes right now, but Emplava down the inside of Mazda, and he gets the job done. He's now behind his Smoking Hot Racing teammate of Smoky Devil just in front, as Fury's 2 tenths, 3 tenths behind the back of Andy. But look at these Gaggle cars. Gary trying anything and everything to get past Kelly.
Using the brunt of the Mercedes to just move past. He's going to try and look on Mazda as well. Gives Mazda a tap up the rear, pushes him wide.
Oh, and Emplava's gone round.
Yeah.
That all started off with Gary just missing his brakes there, and into the back of Mazda he goes. Back to the front, we should see, as Fury has brought that gap down to Andy. Andy now leading this race, but he's got Fury for company. He's used to seeing that Mercedes-Benz right behind him, as Overtaker is now trying to extend his gap on Biggs, but Biggs is sticking with him right now. Biggs seems to have a bit more pace at this stage.
Yeah, that Audi is very good in that in the middle sector compared to the Lamborghini, but you'll see the Lamborghini start to stretch its legs through here. Does D-Biggs lift through here? Yes, he does.
Yeah, not as confident through there, as Fury is right on the back of Andy. He's literally in his boot as they go into Canada corner. Andy defends the inside. Fury going for the switch, but too much power on the exit, as Matt's now starting to get a little bit closer. He's starting to get into the mix of these two as well.
Yeah, there's a massive battle pack further back. Disco looks like he's having to go at KLF. They make contact.
Oh, they do make contact with one another, but they managed to get it back on the track. Peaceful and Monkey Boy are now involved.
Fury and Andy are side by side coming down the start straight. The front of the Mercedes should get the job done for Fury, but will Andy keep it on the inside? Fury looks like he's got the job done. He comes across and he's got first place. Keep it. Oh, he has a slide through turn 1, but keeps it. keeps it all together. Matt
Matt
wide
very
in the
wide.
background, just going on the grass through lawnmower corner.
Matt and Fury both fastest of that lap. The Mercedes is looking very strong here, but the BMW of Andy is looking to try and come back at Fury, as it's now lap 4. The pit window is now open for these guys, so all the guys can pit on this lap as they come down to the 3rd corner. And it's Andy who's not got quite the grunt on the Mercedes, as Andy's missed his braking and he goes wide. That's going to give Matt a chance to have a look. But Andy managing to get back on track. It's very difficult to pass through turn 4 and 5. So Matt might have to be patient and wait a minute. But Overtaker also in the mix of this fight as well. He's just on the back.
Yeah, he's not far off the back. Gary's on the back of Smokey now.
Gary's cleared Mazda as well. So he's managed to get rid of him as quickly as they all got caught up and concertinaed with one another. As Disco's also on his way through past Peaceful. Prava just on the back of them. Disco's actually gone off somewhere. He's off. Yeah, he's got major damage to the car.
Yeah, he's got massive damage. Peaceful is like, I think Peaceful's been involved in that somehow, because Emperor's got past him, and Peaceful looks to be going slowly. Is he going slowly to let?
No, I think he's got damage. He looks like he's got damage to that car.
Has Matt made a mistake? Because look, he's
gained more on Andy, if anything.
I saw the gap go up to about 6 seconds. He's gone over the curve.
Overtaker.
Yeah, Overtaker sliding the car around.
He's pushing that car and he wants to get on the back of this pack. He knows for a fact that Fury, now he's in the race lead. Probably the strongest looking Mercedes here has got the advantage and can now pull away. All these guys not opting to pit here as they come towards the start finish line. The pit window is now open, so all these guys can come into the pits. There's Gary on the back of Smokey. Does he choose to pit this lap? No, he does not. Everyone choosing to stay out at this stage.
Yeah, so got the top 4 up at turn 1. Matt, Andy goes a little bit wide onto the grass. Matt should be very, very much quicker through this section, and in the second half of the lap, Andy just has the advantage.
He does have the advantage. But look at Overtakers.
Emplava come into the pit, sorry.
Emplava first lap in and Peaceful as well. I'm pretty sure Disco will be in. Yeah, all those guys into the pits, so they have served their pit stop. Remember also they go to lap 12 is the other pit window, so all these guys just struggling through that corner there.
Yeah, they just keep us
Fury's made a mistake.
Yeah, Andy's going to be smelling blood.
He is going to be smelling blood as Overtaker runs a little bit wide in the background as well. Whoa, this is going on. There's a good gaggle going on behind them between.
Andy.
He has a wiggle.
Yeah, he tapped the back of Fury there, gave him a bit of a kiss on the rear. As Matt got a bit sideways, he's got the run.
Matt had a great run through the carousel there. He's going to be right on the back of him for the kink. He does not want to overtake the kink. He had to lift. So he was just a little bit too close to Andy. Andy with a little wiggle. This is a great little fight between the top 4.
Overtaker, though. As Matt, because Matt was too close to Andy, he really wanted to get the run here. Is Matt drifts it through there, Colin McRae style.
That's really slowed him down. That slowed him down. He's not got the traction out the corner, and Overtaker, and now they're sniffing an opportunity to get past him. Into the final corner they go, and Matt should have the advantage up the hill. That cut Mercedes is much faster in a straight line.
Yeah, it's not. It all depends what downforce they're using, because say the Lamborghini's got no front downforce, and here comes Overtaker. He's in the slipstream. He's got better straight line. He's got better straight line speed than the Merc, so I reckon he's running less downforce. But no, Matt manages to keep in front. Is Overtaker going to look down the inside? No, but Matt's going to run a little bit wide. No, he keeps it. Overtaker goes onto the grass. That is definitely. Whenever we come here again, that is definitely lawnmower corner.
That is lawnmower corner, as Andy has brought the gap down between him and Fury. He is right on the back of him as well. He's in the slipstream, but we know that Mercedes has more grunt in the BMW, but the BMW probably better on its brakes as they come down into turn 3 on board with Andy on the cockpit view.
Is he going to stand it?
He's going to have a look into turn 3. He has to bail out of it.
Fury goes a little bit wide. You can see in the background Matt is still in front. I think Gary has done Smokey as well. Yeah,
He
Gary
has.
has done Smokey.
That's another place gained for Gary as he then goes into turn 3 and on his way he goes. Oh, he touches the grass there and drops it.
And he's off. And he's in the wall, so he's going to have major damage. So he'll be into the pits this time round.
And he lost a little bit of time there. He's now 1.1 off the back of Fury and has actually gone back into the clutches of Matt. So it seems like the Mercedes is very strong in the first sector. Then it's the Lamborghini seems to be a little bit better in the middle sector. And then the BMW seems to be its best in the final sector. But Matt really starting to put the pressure on Andy now as Andy's made a mistake somewhere. Matt really sideways though. He's really testing that car.
Overtaker got on the grass there. It's saying that Matt is 6 seconds behind Fury and Overtaker's 5. So I don't really know don't quite know what's going on. Yeah, I think Fury might have had a wiggle because the gap's come down slightly.
Possibly
Matt will be looking for the move into turn 1. He'll be looking for a good exit off this final corner, get in the slipstream and make the move to turn 1. But is he going to be close enough? It all depends how much downforce Andy is running. Here comes Matt. Is he closing?
All depends on the tyres as well. What tyres are they running? Softs and hards. All these guys in the 209, 210s. Overtaker a little bit slower, 211. So all these guys are running very good pace at the minute. But Fury, with less pressure now, can pull away from Andy and start to create a gap. The pit window is still open and no one's choosing to come in at this stage. So far it's only been Emplava, Peaceful and Disco are the only ones who have pitted on this lap. But we do have a pitter in the pits and I'm pretty sure that is Gary 131 after his damage.
Kelly goes past and Monkey Boy goes past.
So Gary pitted already. Yeah. Gary pitting on lap lap 5 it is.
Yeah. Fury's extended the gap a little bit again, but it comes back down and he makes a little mistake. Overtaker. I thought I had a spinning Lamborghini. I tell you what, look who's coming into play, and that's D Biggs.
D Biggs is just taking his time. If I was D Biggs, I'd think about pitting because while these guys are too busy squabbling, he could get in, get a free pit stop, and if anything happens to the leaders, then he should be in the prime seat to gain anything from it. As Holty in the chat says, come on, Teletubby Motorsport, who are leading this race at the minute with Fury starting to pull a gap, but it seems to be ebbing and flowing with their times at the minute. A little Mattism there for you guys. Ebbing and flowing between the leaders. So now Matt is really putting Andy under pressure. He's within 5/10 of Andy as they go through the kink, and he just runs wide again, touching the curb.
Yeah, see, with the Audi, I found with the downforce I'm running 2 and 7, you can go through that corner flat. But as soon as you get in someone's slipstream, no, you cannot. Andy runs really wide, keeps it on the track. He's got to watch that though. Keep watching track for him, because he can't keep running off every single time. Are any of these 4 going to pit this lap?
That is the question. Fury doesn't. Andy does. Andy's into the pits.
So this is kind of bad for Matt now because he's lost his slipstream.
So Andy gets his pit stop done.
Oh, we lost Emplava.
Emplava disconnecting once again. He's really struggling with his internet at the minute.
Yeah, he's really struggled with his internet Tuesday night. And Overtaker's dropped it. Overtaker has dropped it at turn 1. He's dropped it at lawnmower corner. Here comes D Biggs. D Biggs gets past.
As Smokey and Emo Guy both come into the pits. That's their pit stop start. Mazda now goes through up into 6th place position. Also Monkey Boy will look like he will gain a couple of KLF will gain a couple of positions as well. Monkey Boy dropping off the back a little bit. The Smoky Devil is now in his pit box, but Overtaker making a crucial mistake there, trying to get on the back, and D Biggs now up in the 3rd place position.
Yeah, doing very well with the Audi, but bonding well with the Audi, and it's good to see.
Yeah, he runs a little bit wide on. What's that?
Wearing my Audi top as well tonight.
Yeah, definitely. So I think that if I ever come back and Biggs wants to partner again, I think he might want the Audi again. Yeah. We might have to discuss that, or we'll see what happens. But KLF is now onto the back of Andy after Andy's done his pit stop. KLF's still yet to pit, so he's still yet to come in and serve his pit stop. But right now, Fury looks like he's got a comfortable lead over Matt at the minute, but Matt would just want to start eking little bits away at him, start to bring that gap down. Now Overtaker's nothing to worry about. Matt just got one car to focus on. And with Overtaker not scoring well in this first race, he runs wide onto the grass. As he's not going to score well here, Matt wants every point he could possibly get when he misses Imola. As Monkey Boy disconnects.
Monkey Boy. Oh, we're not having a problem with disconnections now, are we?
4 cars that disconnect, and we have to restart the session. But I think after a restart anyway, we'll just have to keep going. As we are now halfway through this race, lap 8, as Fury is into the pits.
Matt as well, as D-Big's going to come in. D-Big's follows him in. Overtaker does not. Overtaker goes alone.
So Biggs, Matt,
yeah.
Biggs, Fury, Matt, all into the pits as Overtaker continues on. Mazda will now gain a couple of places here, as they're all into the pits. We are just waiting on Kelly, Mazda, Monkey, who sadly now at this race, and Overtaker are the last few to pit.
Fury's on his way out. Has Matt had jumped him, has he?
I believe he has.
Matt's jumped him. Matt's jumped. Mazda's. Where's Andy?
What's Fury's
through.
fuel? What's Fury's fuel? Oh, he's fine. So has he by accident refilled the car up?
Andy's taken the lead.
Andy has jumped the pair of them there, as Fury now is dropped down to 5th place. So whatever's happened there, he's probably added fuel when he probably didn't want to. He didn't check his pit strategy before he got going. Might have left it after what happened in the first race. But Overtaker now leads this race. Mazda's ahead of this gaggle. So Matt is now trying to get onto the back of Andy, and if he can clear Andy, he will now be in the lead of this race. Emperava says in the chat, I'm about to smash my router. Angry emoji.
Smokey's now lost it. Lawnmower corner. Oh, can he get it back going? Yep, he's got it back going. There's the massive gaggle coming through the end of sector 1, which is Mazda, Andy, Matt, and Fury.
As once again, Monkey Boy in the chat saying his wheel disconnected again. He really needs to sort that out. What you need, Monkey Boy, is a Logitech. That's what you need, a solid Logitech G29. As KLF now in 6th place position is still yet to pit. Him, Mazda, and Overtaker all still yet to pit. So at this stage, they're trying to go as long as they possibly can and hope that people make mistakes here. And Overtaker coming into the final sector. Does he choose to pit this lap? This is the question. I have to make the quickest change on the lobby as soon as we get going, because we will be running the same lobby once again. And Overtaker is into the pits. This is going to be interesting. Where is Andy on track?
He needs to make sure he stops for the pit lane. He stops just in time. Mazda's now coming towards the final. He's now coming towards the final. Here's the thing before Mazda gets to the final corner, Jamie. Fury obviously having a poor pit stop. Are they working together, and is Mazda going to try and hold the pack up a little bit, or is Mazda going to get out of the way? He's going to stay in front. We just saw some. No, I thought we just saw someone else then.
Nope, we've still got 12 drivers. As 14 started, the top 7 cannot qualify as Overtaker gets going again. He ain't going to jump Andy, and he ain't going to jump Matt. As that's
but does he jump?
KLF in.
Does he jump D-Biggs? Where is Overtaker? Overtaker is off the limiter now. Here comes D-Biggs. Overtaker has done D-Biggs by a long way.
So I'm not sure what happened to Biggs there. He had not the best out lap, not compared to the others anyway. Maybe he had a longer pit stop.
Now Mazda has the gap between Mazda and Andy is 0.4 of a second. Is Mazda's job to be a pain in the backside for Andy. Andy just sends it. He's going to go too deep.
Yeah, he's trying too hard to clear the track. Mazda now Mazda's he's in a tricky situation here. He doesn't want to overtake Andy, but at the same time is ruining his progress being in this. Andy's gone wide. Matt's right behind Mazda. There's a couple of flashes there from Matt, and Mazda's really being a pain here. He's a right to fight. He's not a back marker, but it's not his fight to really fight here. And Matt is really putting Mazda under pressure here. He wants to clear him as quickly as he can. And Matt has a wiggle. Andy now extends his gap as Fury has lost a little bit more time there when he needed to be there.
Yeah, now this is the position Matt did not want to be in with Mazda. He doesn't want to be You didn't want to be behind him at this point because he will run wide with the slipstream. He's going to lose a bit of time. He lifts off a bit. Mazda gets on the grass. This is Matt's opportunity. Mazda has to lift off. They go side by side. Matt gets on the grass, but I think he's going to have the job done. He does, and Mazda comes straight back up the inside of him. And goes straight
Mazda
into
does go back. I think Mazda got a little bit caught out by Matt being on the grass, and then he came across quite quickly after he cleared him to get the braking zone. And Mazda probably got a little bit caught out there. And Mazda goes back down the inside, trying to avoid an accident. Mazda going up the start-finish straight. Is he going to pit? No, he stays out once again. He's really starting to annoy Matt right here as Matt comes down Road America straight.
Look at the gap, 7 seconds between Matt and Mazda. Is Mazda going to go defensive? He does. Matt's going to go around the outside at his corner. He's just going to... he's done it right around the outside of Mazda. No, he saved it.
No, he's gone round now. And he's nearly hit his teammate. His teammate's in the wall as well.
Fury's in the wall. So Fury's going to have damage. Can Fury keep it going? He keeps it going. Is Mazda's job now to defend from Overtaker? But Overtaker, I imagine, is going to be quite relentless and do what Andy did. Where Andy caught him was a good place. Overtaker has got the place very easy. Is Mazda going to just send it back up the inside? No,
Mazda's got major damage. The question is, what has Fury got damage-wise? Is he struggling, as he's just struggled to get out of turn 3? Overtaker not the most consistent either, but Biggs isn't too far away in the 6th place position as well. Overtaker, he's sliding and he's gone round.
Yeah, he's dropped it. And this gives us an opportunity to do Biggs, and he's now done Overtaker again. So he got jumped in the pit and has overtaken him on track once again after Overtaker makes a mistake. Although Overtaker has got a massive gap to his teammate.
Yeah, Emo guy not having the best of races so far. He's in a solid 7th place at the minute, but he's just nowhere near the pace of these guys. Probably caught out a couple of incidences, but we are still waiting for Mazda, your only man, to pit, and he's only got a couple more laps until the pit window closes. So lap 12 is the last pit window, and with the damage he's got, he's got to come in.
Overtaker gets on the grass. He gets caught out with the slipstream there. Is Mazda going to hold these two up? I think, say, with Mazda holding, trying to hold Andy, Matt, D-Biggs and Overtaker up, it's just not worked well for him because he's got major damage and ruined his own race. D-Biggs has done him. Here goes Overtaker again. Mazda almost collects him. Mazda almost loses it again. Mazda's got to be into the pits this time, and he is in. But he's cost himself a very good result.
He's not just cost himself, he also possibly cost Fury a chance to attack with the damage that he has sustained. Fury looks like he hasn't got too much damage, but it's now Matt's job to try and bring the gap down to Andy in front. Meanwhile, Overtaker is trying to find his way past D-Biggs as they go down to turn 1. D-Biggs is doing everything he possibly can to make that Audi the widest Audi you have ever seen. And Overtaker just seems to be making mistakes all on his own at this minute. But right now it's Andy leading on lap 12. 2nd is Matt. 3rd is Fury. 4th Biggs. 5th Overtaker. 6th is Emo Guy. 7th is Smokey. 8th is Mazda. 9th KLF. 10th Gary. 11th Peaceful. Disco in 12th. And we've lost Monkey Boy and N Bravo as Overtaker looks to the inside of turn 3.
Oh, he nearly hits him in the rear. Just say they just need to be careful. People just need to be careful of everyone else's where everyone else breaks flat corner. Because say I know I brake quite a bit early to get a better exit, and they're all overtaking that sideways again. Say I'm pretty sure for yourself Dan, it's a bit closer to the corner.
Yeah, a little bit closer to the corner, but way these guys are lapping at Overtaker just seems to be trying to put. He just seems to be a bit nervous on the throttle, doesn't he?
He seems to be overdriving the car.
Yeah, he does.
We say about this quite a lot as Gary's now done KLF, so Gary's now up 8th and has dispossessed Kelly of that position. But Gary's made a lot of mistakes as well. Mazda is right on the back of Disco.
Buying out for the last few places here, and also Peaceful there as well.
Peaceful.
So every
Yeah.
point matters here. Disco would have retired by now, and he wouldn't be fighting for these points right now. So Disco sticking at it here, and he could possibly still get Peaceful Explosion. So that would be 10th place points. As Mazda really struggling with this car here tonight.
Oh, that's Fury.
Fury's made a mistake. That's D-Biggs now up into 3rd place position. Overtaker now
Here
coming
comes
towards the start
Overtaker.
finish line.
He's done him already. That straight line speed of the Lamborghini is far superior over the Audi, but D-Biggs has just been able to keep it nice and stable this race, whereas Overtaker hasn't. He gets a bit sideways again. Is still present opportunity to D-Biggs? No, but Fury is now down to 5th. Gary's made another mistake.
Gary's made a mistake. He's gone round and into the wall. What is happening with Peaceful, Disco, and the Mazda? Close within them. Disco looking to make a move on Peaceful into Canada corner, but he hangs in there for a minute, trying to get the undercut on Peaceful as Disco drops the rear and he's into the wall.
Mazda now gets up into 11th position. Disco will be back into the pits, I imagine, this time around. What's happening between these three?
All sorts of chaos happening between.
Yeah.
This is very important for these guys as well. This is for 3rd place position. Overtaker in the front of it. Fury really seems to be struggling with that car. Don't know what's gone on with it since he's hit the wall, but he just does not seem to be happy as this goes back into the pits once again. But he will be able to qualify. 14 started, so the top 7 will not be able to qualify. So Andy, Matt, Overtaker, Biggs, Fury, Emo Guy, and Smoky Devil all won't be able to qualify for the 2nd race.
Fury pushing that cut, pushing the Mercedes really hard. He might even be able to get the jobs done before this corner. No, he has a look. He's going to have to back off. If not, he's going to end up on the grass. He kept his foot in there, but D-Biggs is not going to make this easy for him. This is going to be the widest Audi known to man. Fury ran the outside.
He tries to go around the outside of Canada corner, but he can't get the job done. Biggs holding his line, making that Audi wide again. This time he's had to defend from Fury. Overtaker now is managing to clear these two. Can Overtaker keep it clean for the rest of the lap? Fury going to the outside of Biggs. If he can get the job done, that would be a good move. And he's sticking with it. Biggs gives him the space, a little bit of door rubbing. Fury nearly hits the back of him, but Biggs hangs in there.
Yeah, D-Biggs got his elbows out there and just showed Fury onto the curb, and Fury just had to back off slightly, but the power of the Mercedes should be able to get him close enough to have a go into Lawnmower corner. Tries around the outside again. He's going to get on the curb. He's get wide. Overtaker has disappeared up the road. Matt's made a mistake because look at
as Fury hits the back of Biggs there, has Biggs gone round. Where is Biggs? He's still there. So Fury lifts and he knows that he would have been in the wrong, so he waits for Biggs. But I don't think Matt's really made a mistake. I think that's just his genuine pace. Andy is just long gone.
Yeah, I think it might also just be the times messing about, because say Matt is 7 seconds ahead of Overtaker. D-Biggs has stayed in front of Fury.
Peaceful Fury really struggling with that car.
I think they both had a wiggle there. Peaceful and Mazda having that down the start straight.
Yeah, they're having their little ding dong at the minute. I believe Disco now is in between Matt and Overtaker. He is. So Disco is going to finish this race, thankfully, and score some points. But he will be able to qualify for a race 2. But Peaceful, can he find a way past Mazda and gain some more points?
No, he's in the wall.
That's what's going to happen with him there, and he loses out. Fury still trying to stick to the back of D-Biggs right now, and Smoky Devil has been catching Emo Guy very slowly, so he's not too far off the back of the Lamborghini as we come into the final stages of this race.
Yeah,
as Emo Guy
3 seconds behind. We'll cut back to this battle. D-Biggs has managed to pull a little bit of a gap, so is that damage now starting to affect Fury even more?
Possibly so. He might have to be looking after the car. Gary back again on the back of KLF. We go back and have a look at that fight because they're very close to one another, Gary and KLF 900. Here they are as they come towards the carousel. Kelly with a little wiggle and Gary towards the carousel. The Mercedes seems to be a lot better through this section. carry towards the carousel. The Mercedes seems to be a lot better through this section.
I've been counting down the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now. So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, far from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been staring at the sun in my eyes. I've been keeping on the run every night. But you're too far away to see the signs. So I'm staring at the sun till I'm dry. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, far from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now.
Restart your stream.
So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead.
So I've got my essay written, and I've been working on it for about a week. So now I'm going to show you how I use Grammarly.
Full speed
Here's my essay.
full speed ahead. I've been staring at the sun in my eyes. I've been keeping on the run every night. But you're too far away to see the signs. So I'm staring at the sun till I'm dry. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead.
Are you on the party page?
I've been counting down the days to get out.
Let me get on the party page myself.
I've been looking for a way
So
from
go
this
to
town.
party audio settings.
And you're too far away
And it should
to
say, allow
help
your
me
voice to be
now.
shared.
So I'm counting down the days to
allow,
get
yeah.
out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead.
Oh yeah, this girl wasn't happy at all. He was saying that I was getting
So
good.
I'm full speed ahead.
Something like that. He's not happy with it.
Full speed ahead.
Not like he's gonna qualify though.
Full speed ahead.
Yeah, that would be nice then. That would be nice then.
I've been staring at the sun in my eyes. I've been keeping on the run every night. But you're too far away to see the signs.
You can't hear it.
So I'm staring at the sun till I'm dry. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now. So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to focus everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead.
Simplay Motorsport, we do have your top 3 in the chatverse. Apologies for the end of that stream. I don't know exactly sure what happened. Might be Matt's end, might be mine. Who knows? But nonetheless, we do have the top 3, and it was the top 3 you saw before. We have Overtaker, Matt, and Andy in the chat. And first things first, we will start with Overtaker. First things, mate, welcome to Simplay Motorsport. Race 2 didn't quite go your way. It's nice to hear your voice in the chat as well. And what? Tell me about your race. It didn't seem like it went well from start to end, to be honest, did it? As we can't hear him right now. So,
Hello.
Hello, there we go.
Can you repeat the question? I wasn't here.
So, obviously, race 1 didn't go your way. What happened from basically start to end? Just seemed like you got a few mistakes here and there by yourself and get caught up with a few drivers.
Well, I would disagree. I think the race one was perfectly fine for me because I don't like this track. As, I spin on almost every corner, so it was okay. First place, it was lucky. First place.
Yeah. Going into race 2 now, you're going to be starting near the front with Andy. So mid-pack, obviously top 7 can't qualify. So you're going to be starting roughly 9th place. What can you do from there?
If I can repeat P3, it's gonna be awesome.
And also we go in. Obviously, you lead in the championship at the minute. Matt missing a week next week, and is it just making sure you score as many points over Matt at this stage, or you got to keep an eye out for Andy as well?
I don't keep the championship score. I just came here to enjoy and give some good battles with you guys.
Well, best of luck for race 2 and congratulations on the 3rd place, mate. We'll let you get back to your party chat.
Thanks.
As we do move on to the 2nd place man, Matimovic, and not really, well, it's a good and bad race at the same time. You look like you had the pace mid-pack. You look like you had a great pit stop, and another Mercedes, a Teletubby Mercedes was holding you up a bit, wasn't he?
He was a nightmare. And bearing in mind, I've raced with him for about 13, 15 years. He was an absolute nightmare. But no, good race, like you say. Up and down moments, bit slidey at some points. Was catching Andy early on, but couldn't get nowhere past him. Everywhere you could have probably had a look, I made a mistake, and Andy just was able to get me. And then everywhere I pulled him back in was at the wrong spots. And then at the end, I got that 5 aero damage from Mazda, and Andy was long gone. It was a case of get a 3rd, 2nd place this season.
Yeah, definitely so. And 2nd place of the season, you gain a little bit more points over Overtaker, but knowing that you're not going to make Imola next week, is it all about trying to score as many points as you possibly can here at Road America?
100%. It's about doing this all season to see where we can finish at the end. Never say never for next week. Let me buy my suitcase tomorrow, see how much room's in it for the PlayStation, see if I can take it over to Switzerland with me. Might be on the pad to score some points, but no, look, it's about scoring as much as we can all season. Shame that I do miss next week, so I can't push Andy and Overtaker hard in the season, but hey, we don't know what can happen later on in the year.
Yeah, definitely so. And obviously, I've done it myself after having an operation or surgery, and come back on the pad. If you do manage to take the pad away with you, is it something that you're going to worry about racing, or is it just literally just turn up, score points, and oh, Gary, big moment. Is it all about just scoring points and making sure that Andy and Overtaker doesn't get too far away?
Turn up, score points. What we get is what we get. You know, I don't race on the pad. I really do not like it. I take my hat off to those people who can do it. But it'll probably be just turn up, score as many points as we can, and see what happens. 5 points is better than none. But as is the real world nowadays, and obviously I've now got other commitments as well as Simplay, so it sucks because I really wanted, now that I know I can be in this position, really want to push Andy hard, because I've seen how Andy races with yourself and Fury, and when he gets to the business end of the season, Andy has some fantastic battles with drivers. I wanted to be another one in that position. But it is what it is.
You're going to be starting pretty much second to last with Fury at the back of the pack. What can you do from there?
Tough one, but 16th to 5th last week in the lap 1, so we'll see if we can do it again. But we'll see. Race 2, very tight, twisty track. The start's going to be the key.
Definitely so. We'll let you get back to your party chat, and congratulations on second place.
Well done to Andy and Overtaker as well.
Cheers, mate. Well done.
As we do move on to your race winner, appearance 99, and another win for yourself, Andy. Congratulations, and I bet you were glad the session got restarted after that one.
Yeah, I can't believe this is... My next race is going to be appearance 100. That's crazy. Honestly, where's the time gone? That's mad. But yeah, I'm really happy with the win. Qualifying went pretty much according to plan. Just managed to nab Overtaker at the end. This track's a lot more suited to the BMW in relation to the Lambo than Sakito was. Sakito was very much a Lambo track. The BMW seems to be really good in the slower corners. It's big things, traction, but also it just seems to be planted through those slower corners. So I was very happy in the qualifying and the race. I really had a hard time with Fury and Matt. They're both pushing me. Fury fell away after the pit stop, so I'm not quite sure if he had a long pit stop. But Matt had the incident with Mazda when we were both coming through. Mazda was yet to pit, so we came through, and they seemed to have a bit of a tangle, which is obviously unfortunate for Matt. Wouldn't have wanted the battle to have been decided in that way, but nonetheless, I'll take the P1 and the pole position point.
Yeah, definitely. So pole position away from Overtaker. Obviously, you don't have me this season pressurising you race for race, but instead you seem to have gained 3 other drivers to give you an absolute headache with Fury, Matt and Overtaker. And Fury, that race really gave you a run for your money at the start of that race.
Yeah, he really did. Fury is a very quick starter. Every time I race with him in the early laps, he seems to be very quick out of the blocks. He's good on high fuel loads. And yeah, he was putting me under a lot of pressure. He got ahead of me, and he's hard to pass as well. So I just had to stick to the back of him and make sure that come the pit window, I was in that striking distance, and luckily we were able to get the jump on him. But Fury's going to be a force to be reckoned with in this next race. He'll be starting at the back alongside us. And I can't rule out Overtaker. I know that he says he doesn't like this track, but he does quite well for a track he doesn't like. He's certainly no slouch. But yeah, should be an exciting race for second race with Overtaker, Matt and Fury, and just need to stay out of trouble really in the first few laps.
Well, good luck for your 100th appearance here at Simplay Motorsport. And is this going to be the season that you finally take the championship?
Honestly, not even thinking about that at this point. I led the entirety of the championship last season up until one round from the end. And we had a great battle. Obviously, we've had many great battles throughout the seasons, Dan. But in your absence, it would feel a bit sillier for me not to go one better. It feel like an opportunity missed. So I've got to go for it. But at the moment, I'm not thinking too much about it because, again, you can have a lead. You can lead the championship the whole way through, and you can still lose it. It's all about who's in front at the end, not about who's in front at the beginning.
Yeah, definitely so. Well, good luck for a race 2, mates, as we will be focused now on this qualifying session. Andy takes another win here at Simplay Motorsport on his 99th appearance. His 100th appearance is now going to be in race 2. Jamie, can he do what he just done, take a race win onto his 100th appearance here at Simplay Motorsport, as Gary goes fastest with a 2:08.1.
Yeah, that's a great lap there from Gary. Yeah, I reckon he can. So he's got quite lucky with the reverse grid draw. He's up in 9th place, unlike Matt and Fury who are up at the back. I'd just also like to put out there, Matt, I am not available to drive for you on the pad next week.
I think a lot of people who aren't able to race and want a pad driver, Jamie will be your hot topic for that for sure. But the problem is Jamie doesn't like Mercedes, so if you're in a Mercedes, you're pretty much out of luck on that one. If you've got the Audi, then he's more than welcome to help you out. But at the minute, it is Gary who is fastest at the minute, but Disco in second. He needs to have a good qualifying. He's currently going to stay there because that is it for qualifying.
Yeah, he's going to be his second. Monkey Boy has finished as well, and Plava will get one more lap in. He's struggling a bit, and I think he's got a bit of lag issues as well. So hopefully he can make it all the way through this race.
Hopefully so, as Plava really needs to try and fix his internet ever since he's moved up to the Pro, as he goes P6, or stays P6. He goes ahead of Kelly, who's currently the slowest of the lot.
Who is coming to the line? It is Mazda. Can Mazda find about 0.4 of a second to jump onto the front row of the grid alongside the other Mercedes? He comes over the crest, comes towards the line. Can he find any time? He can, but it's not enough. Yeah, it's not enough. Peaceful comes over the hill. Can he improve? Can he jump his teammate?
Oh,
no.
Not quite. He's still a tenth off of his teammate. It's just KLF and M Plava still on track. I think M Plava in the sector 1, is it? No, I think that's pretty much...
Plava, he's 0.4 up, so he would jump above Peaceful at the minute.
He would jump against people. He needs to make sure he has a nice clean section here. As again, guys, apologies for the late one this evening, as we had loads of incidences going on with the internet and with also the lobbies. So Road America already doing my head in, and I do not want to see it again. As we go into the carousel, M Plava, can he find that few more seconds that he needs? He goes a little bit wide on exit, but it's all going to be about the reverse grid here. Jamie, D-Biggs is leading it, and he's not too far behind. Overtaker just behind him. Smokey will start 11th, Emo in 12th. Matt and Fury at the back of the pack. What can they do? And the first time these guys do a grid start, as M Plava has still got 0.4 on his lap time.
Yeah, he's still got 0.4 on his lap time. I tell you what, Matt and Fury might be in the best position, because it could get messy at turn 1.
It could get messy. But M Plava coming through the final few corners now. Has he kept that 0.4 up, or has he lost it all?
Oh, he's got on. Oh, he's on the ground. Oh, he's definitely lost it all now. He's into the wall, so he'll be starting 6th, just behind Peaceful.
So that is it. Gary 131 takes pole position here with Disco in second. Third is Mazda. Fourth is Monkey Boy. Fifth is Peaceful. Sixth is M Plava. Seventh is KLF 900. Eighth is Biggs. Ninth is Andy. 10th is Overtaker. 11th Smoky Devil. Emo Guy in 12th. Matimovic 13th, and Fury in 14th place position. Pit window is back to its normal way. End of lap 3 and end of lap 11. It is Gary 131, your 2-time champ, currently on the front row. Can he keep Andy behind him? That is Bisco behind him. That is a question. Jamie, predictions on race winner for race 2?
I'm going to put my money on Andy once again.
I'm going to go and put my money on Gary 131 for this one. I think Gary, with a bit of clean air on his own, he usually does quite well in race 2. I think Gary's going to look strong for this one. But look at the grid, guys. They're so close to one another. It's not staggered. They are side by side and really close. If you go on board with Matt, let's see his view into turn 1 as they're all just getting ready. That's all we can see right now. Just sea of cars, and also Fury and Emo Guy and all the guys on the right hand side. They are very, very close to the pit wall. If we go on board with one of those guys as well, the pit wall is very close to them. And it's going to be all about, look at that wall there, right there. So
yeah, it's such a tight, say start straight. They've just got to be so careful off the line. So the BMW should get a decent start, and he didn't get a decent start in the first start of race 1. So he'll be looking to get a decent standing start for race 2, as they've all synced up. Can Disco get Gary off the line?
As we get going here, round 4 of the season. It takes a little while for the lights to come on, but the reds rise. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. Gary 131 on pole, and we're away here. Disco gets the jump though and takes the lead as we all get away here at Road America. Has everyone managed to negotiate the start relatively cleanly? It looks like they all have, but look at that traffic as they all go into turn 1. They go. Disco leads them way. As the Ferrari and Monkey Boy is just up there with him. Bravo as well. Peaceful has dropped right down the order. He's down to 12th now. He's really lost a lot of places. Monkey Boy's down the inside of Mazda. And Peaceful, what has happened to Peaceful? Has he lost his rear wing already? Is they now? Nope, he's still got the rear wing.
He's no damage either. He's just, I think he's just being very cautious at the start, or he's just being hung out to drive. No incidents so far. Gary and Disco just kind of got a bit of a lead on Mazda.
Bravo looks like he's got a run on Monkey Boy as they come down the hill, and he does. Overtaker's right there as well. Andy with a horrid start down to 12th place position. He's going to send it on the inside of Fury. Fury's also sending it on KLF. Overtaker is trying to do everyone. There's all sorts of cars everywhere. Matt's there. Emo Guy defending from Biggs, and Biggs hits the back of him. Disco's gone round. Disco, can he get it together? Monkey Boy's gone round as well.
Matt is side by side with Andy. Andy shows him the grass. Will Matt get the inside? No, Andy kept the position. Overtaker is up to 4th. Matt was going back for the inside there. Did he get the job done? No, he dropped a bit back. They need to get on with this because Overtaker is getting on with it. Oh, he's on the grass though. He's not going to go very quick there, and he might have his teammate for company as well. And D Biggs, not too far. Oh, I think that was Smokey losing it in the background.
Yes, he has. Smokey on his own after the carousel dropped it, but it is Gary 131 leads the way with Mazda in 2nd, and Prava in 3rd. Is a Mercedes 1, 2, and 3 with Overtaker now coming onto the Prava, as Prava finally gonna have a race without any internet issues. It was the same with the touring cars. Race 1 here, can he make it to the end of race 2? Will Monkey Boys will make it to the end? That is another question as well. And can Peaceful not spin it too often? Disco, can he get to the end as well? Smoky Devil with that bad start as well. Those two at the back of the pack.
Disco's dropped it again.
Disco has dropped it again, and he's really getting frustrated with this car, and he's got to keep going.
Yeah, he just glide. Oh,
no, he's gone. He has gone.
We need to check whether because he didn't return to the pit, so we'll just have to check whether he retired or. Emo Guy has dropped behind Matt and Andy. There's KLF defending from Fury, or is that? Yeah, KLF has now dropped behind Fury, so he's going to have Andy on the back of him and Matt. Matt's looking all over to try and get past. Overtaker has not managed to get past that Mercedes yet, and he's going to get D-Biggs on the back of him as well. And
Bravo doing a very good job of holding back the Overtaker, but right now Fury's got a massive job of keeping Kelly behind him. Fury moving a lot under the on the straight line there, but he keeps that line as Andy gives Kelly a little bump. Kelly goes a little bit wide, but he keeps it together. Kelly really in the thick of this. He's up with some of the top guys there, and he's really trying to get his elbows out and race these guys at this front end. As Overtaker has now got ahead of Bravo, so it looks like he's managed to get that job done, and on his way to try and hunt down at Mazda, as D Biggs now onto the back of Bravo. D Biggs down the inside. As Kelly's under pressure from Andy here as they go to the carousel. Andy is going to be on the inside of the carousel. Kelly might have to be patient. He can't muscle his way through on power. He might have to be a little bit clever here, and he loses out to Andy. He will then get into the toe. Matt with a great run towards the kink, and Matt right onto the back of Kelly.
Yeah, he's going to hope Kelly goes onto the grass, which Kelly doesn't get some wiggle on, and Matt's going to be through easy as you like. Thank you, Mama, for the carrots.
Peaceful is looking on the inside of Emo Guy. Emo Guy having to defend the inside into Canada corner, as Peaceful has to go around the outside. Matt has gone wide. That's given Kelly the position back.
Yeah, but Kelly's gone wide, and Matt goes back up the inside again. Evan and Flo. And
what's happened to Prava's going down backwards. He's gone off somewhere. He's in the wall.
He's in the wall. I don't think he's gone off there by himself. Oh yeah, definitely not. Has anybody got any damage on the front? The person behind him was D Biggs. No.
So Bravo with major damage. Is he going to come straight into the pit? He has got major damage. He will have to pit again anyway, but he's going to muscle his way through.
He's going to continue on, try and get to the end of this lap. Matt is trying to catch back up to Andy, but and the two he's got to get past is Fury and Andy in front.
Look at Gary's lap time. He is flying out in front.
Yeah, it seems Gary gets into a rhythm. he's alright. Overtaker is looking on, has gone into the gravel. So where's D-Biggs? D-Biggs is not far behind. So the two that were battling in race 1 are going to go at it again in race 2. Peaceful gets onto the grass a little bit there.
Peaceful right onto the back of Kelly. These two have had a couple of ding-dongs with one another, and can Peaceful get past that Lamborghini here as Gary is trying to extend his gap over Mazda. Mazda also just trying to stick with him so that he can keep that Lamborghini of Overtaker nowhere near him, as D-Biggs also having a great run here in race 2, sticking onto the back of Overtaker. Can he find a way through and gain himself onto the podium? That's the question. Fury and Andy though looking to try and hunt these two down though.
Ooh,
Overtaker gone wide.
Yeah, he got onto the grass there.
So D-Biggs.
I think I just saw a little jump from Fury. Has Matt? I know Matt's only a few seconds behind, but he's losing a little bit of time to Andy again. So he just doesn't have that race pace over. And the Smoky Devil has dropped right off the back. I think KLF has just done Peaceful as well.
No, Peaceful was always behind Kelly. Kelly is just trying to defend as hard as he possibly can, as Peaceful is right on the back of him. Pit window has opened this lap, so these guys can pit if they want to. As Kelly goes into the final corner, does anybody opt to pit? No, everybody stays out. And D-Biggs now is under pressure from Fury. No, he's starting to put pressure on Overtaker. I thought Fury was catching him then.
No, Andy's catching Fury, so Matt's going to be hoping these two battle, and Fury's going to be...
Overtaker's made a mistake!
He's gone into the wall, I think. I think he touched the wall on the outside, so this is a perfect opportunity for Fury.
Yeah, Fury can get onto the back of that Lamborghini, but he's also dragging Andy with him. Fury not lapping that quickly. Gary's lap times on his own, 2:09.3. He is gone from Mazda.
He's absolutely flying. We always say, and Gary has a better second race as M. Palmer comes into the pit. No surprise there. Fury looking for a move. I think Overtaker was just looking for a bit of traction, and Fury's compromised himself a little there.
Yeah, I think Fury just needs to get a little bit closer. He needs to know that he's definitely on the back of him. And let's just go in the chat saying that he's retiring.
Yeah, Overtaker got onto the grass. He's gone a little bit wide, but Fury follows him. Where's Andy? Andy's not too far. Matt is really struggling for pace in this one, so I don't.
Matt's currently in no man's land right now, unless he's got damage from somewhere. But he's currently not able to stick with these boys at this precise stage. So is Matt opting to think to come in early and get his pit stop out of the way?
Gary's made a mistake because Mazda's in the lead.
Gary now making a mistake, and that gives Mazda the race lead. The man who can't decide what car he's running, as Gary's gone round.
So this will give D-Biggs second, Overtaker third.
Fury up in the 4th, and now Andy up into 5th as well. Gary was your race leader. He's now dropped down to 6th and just ahead of his teammate. What are they going to do team-wise as Mazda leads this race now?
Yeah, Mazda's going to be jumping for joy and thinking about what car would be better around here.
Someone is into the pits. Who's it going to be? It is Gary. 131 is coming to the pits.
He might have damage, in all fairness. As Overtaker goes for second on D-Biggs. D-Biggs going to try and hold it around the outside. That's not going to work. That's just open the door for Fury.
D-Biggs not happy with that one. Little flash of the lights. He thinks the Overtaker didn't give him any room on exit. Fury down the inside and gets ahead of D-Biggs. D-Biggs just needs to stick with Fury. Fury moves to one side. D-Biggs then makes his one move. Fury chops his nose off again. He can't keep doing that too often. He needs to stick to one line and defend it. As D-Biggs looking to the outside, Fury defends the inside. Andy on the grass a little bit. D-Biggs later on the brakes, and he goes around the outside of Fury. He goes wide. Overtaker makes a mistake. D-Biggs makes a little wiggle. Fury back down the inside again. Andy's in the back of all this. Emo Guy and Smokey are both in the pits as well.
D-Biggs has spun it.
D-Biggs has spun it all on his own, and that's put those two up. Is Matt going to get going as well? Is Matt looking to try and make a move on?
Matt's got him.
Matt has got him, so Matt up a place also.
I wonder whether Matt is struggling with his leg or back, but they just not got the pace in this one. As Fury is now going to try and put the pressure on Overtaker, who is just over a second up the road.
1.2 seconds up the road is the Overtaker, but Mazda still leads this race and lapping quite consistently, but Fury and Andy are coming back at them. Andy on his 100th appearance here at Simplay Motorsport, can he get another race win under his belt? That is the question. He will have to look at pitting relatively early. As Phil says, Gary is going for the win. My driver of the day, says Phil. As we will get your votes on driver of the day, so guys, get your driver of the day in as we are on lap 5. A third of the race is already gone, and it is Mazda who still leads this race. Overtaker in second, Fury third, Andy fourth, fifth is Matt, sixth is D-Biggs, and seventh is Peaceful. He's quietly making his way up the pack. KLF 8th, 9th, Monkey Boy, Gary in 10th, Emo Guy in 11th, and Smoky Devil with 12th, and Emplava bringing up the rear. Obviously with that first lap chaos he had, he is back underway, but he has to keep scoring points. He needs to keep going.
Yeah, and he's just a little bit of time to Fury, because I think Fury is now trying to make hay while the sun shines on Overtaker, but the gap is about 1.5 seconds.
Overtaker now bringing that gap down to Mazda. He was a second. He has had a wiggle. Fury trying to stick to Overtaker. He could do with helping his teammate out, because Overtaker has he's a second quicker than Mazda that last lap, and he's really trying to bring that gap down. Mazda with plenty of experience, he's leading this race. He should be able to keep this under control as Fury goes a little bit deep and a big wiggle there. Andy goes wide as well.
When Overtaker does get onto the back of Mazda, though, Mazda is going to be the toughest person to pass ever. We know how hard Mazda is to pass. At the best of times, he's going to be even tougher to pass, knowing that his teammate is the car behind.
Yeah, definitely. So Mazda will be playing a defensive game here to help him out. D-Biggs onto the back of Matahimovic. Matt really seems to be struggling here. Don't know what it is, but he just does not seem to have the pace. As D-Biggs in the Audi looking to try and get himself back up into 5th place position and try and score some decent points here, as D-Biggs has had a very good meeting here at Road America, and that Audi seems to have helped him out a lot here.
Yeah, say next week is similar, and for our viewers who don't watch GT World Challenge Europe, it's what Valentino Rossi races in. Mr. David Addison himself said that Imola is an Audi track, so D-Biggs and Argent, as long as Argent's there, will be rubbing their hands together. As that is Fury into the pits. I think Fury lost a position. I think he'd lost a position to Andy already before he'd come into the pits. So I wonder whether he's made a mistake coming through Canada.
But either way, Fury now into the pits. He gets his pit stop done and out of the way. While he had that mistake, it's best to get his pit stop done. As Matt's in the wall. That's put D-Biggs up a place now. So Matt making a vital error there. He's got damage to the front end. Monkey Boy is into the pits as well. All these guys now serving their pit stops, and Monkey Boy's wheel is still going at the stage. Emplava's internet is still managing to carry on also, and Matahimovic is really struggling now. He's got big damage to the front of that car.
Yeah, he's got to be in this lap. Say Monkey Boy's in. Gary has already overtaken him, so Gary's on his charge back through the field after he had such a promising opening few laps.
All depends on what happened with Fury, because Gary isn't actually too far off the back of Fury. If Fury just had a slow entry, then Gary could still possibly be in the hunt for this fight for the podium positions. He's not too far off. He's currently 3 seconds off the back of Fury, as those guys have now got their pit stops out of the way. We're still waiting on Biggs, Overtaker, Peaceful, Mazda.
That sounds like an Audi off. That's D-Biggs off.
D-Biggs, another mistake from himself, and he's gone round.
Peaceful's up to 5th. So
Peaceful having a great race.
He will more than likely do Matt in the pits, because Matt will be in there for a while if he's fixing the damage, but D-Biggs is looking to come back already on the Ferrari.
He is indeed, just in the background as well. KLF in the Lamborghini as Beastville goes wide.
They both go wide. The Audi, I think, has a little bit more top speed.
to come into Canada corner, and Biggs can't seem to find a way past. These two still yet to pit also, and we'll just wait for them to come in. Mazda carries on leading this race, and he's just managing the gap between him. He's done his fastest lap of 2:09.8, while Overtaker does a 4. Andy matches Overtaker, so they're all matching one another. Matt is into the pit, so is Peaceful, so is Biggs. Biggs has to be cautious that he doesn't hit the back of Peaceful, and he doesn't.
I don't think, no, he doesn't hit the back. So that's good, as that is Kelly that comes through, so Kelly goes up into 4th place.
So all those guys are in the pits, they've got their pit stops done. Matt's done his pit stop. Kelly, we're still waiting for Overtaker. Smokey done his pit as well. So we're just waiting on Andy, Overtaker and Mazda now.
And yeah, and Kelly as well.
And Kelly also. The top 4 still yet to pit. And how quick was Peaceful and Biggs' stop? That's the question. Biggs looks like he's jumped Peaceful. Where is Peaceful? Yeah, Peaceful is behind Biggs. So Biggs has cleared him. Fury is in 5th. There's Gary's gone up to 6th.
Yeah, Gary's jumped all of them. So Gary is just behind Fury here. So Gary could still be on for a podium at this rate.
Fury just needs to keep an eye on Gary. Gary's bringing that gap down. Gary's last lap was a 9.4. He's as quick as the leaders at the minute. So Gary on good pace at this minute. Emo Guy has done his pit stop. He's on the back of Peaceful. Peaceful is trying to stick with Biggs. Well, Matt has dropped himself down to 10th place position. Meanwhile, back to the front, it's Mazda leading the way with a 1.5 second gap. Overtaker is trying everything he possibly can to bring that gap down.
Yeah, he's pushing that Lamborghini as hard as possible. He don't seem to be as or the rear end on that doesn't seem to be all over the place this time. Seems quite planted so far. So he made the one mistake. Yeah, he might have damage, but I just don't think Mazda's got the pace. And Plava comes back into the pits. Andy now going to come
Andy's
into
in.
the pits.
Yep, Andy is. He's going to try the undercut here, isn't he? Well, yeah. A bit of clean air. He's got to hope that he jumps Fury and Gary, which he should do. So Andy into the pits. Fury currently at the kink towards Canada corner. He's currently up on his lap time. Gary's lost some time to Fury here. So Gary must have made a mistake somewhere.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's got any damage. KLF is going to come past Andy. I think he's already on his way. No, he hasn't even stopped yet. Let's see how quick this stop is. Oh, that's gone. Stop.
Where is Fury? He's in the final corner. I don't think Fury's going to get anywhere near Andy here. Andy's pit box is right at the bottom, so he's got a clear run on the exit. So Andy will come back out in 4th place position, but more importantly ahead of Fury and Gary.
Matt's trying to get onto the back of Emo Guy. He'll have the straight line speed. Down the straight. The gap at the front is 1.6 seconds. Overtaker was 6 tenths quicker than Mazda last lap.
If Andy has a good hour lap here, he could possibly jump Mazda and Overtaker. They've both done a 2:10, as Matt is now onto the back of Emo Guy here. Can he clear the Lamborghini relatively quickly here? What does Overtaker do? Does he pit? If I was Overtaker, what I would do is the opposite of what Mazda does. If Mazda decides to carry on going, he then goes in the pits. If Mazda goes in, then he pits. That's one lap of just clean air and not being stuck behind that Mercedes. Lap 11 is the pit window closes, and they're currently on lap 9.
Yeah, just looking on Matt's stream, Matt has fixed all of his damage. Oh, Emo Guy just spinning his wheels up there. Matt going to look to the inside, get the job done early. Emo Guy cuts him off, and Matt can't get the job done.
That's a very brave corner to get it job done there. But Mazda and Overtaker in the final corner. What are these two going to do? They're both going to carry on. So Andy now has got one job and one job only. Bring that gap down as quickly as he possibly can while he's got the clean air. Kelly, another person still yet to pit, going as long as he possibly can. 2 more laps of pit window time. If they go past lap 11, they will get penalised, as that gets right on the back of Emo. Look how close he gets.
He's going to have a go, but Emo Guy's going to be too far in front. Matt could pretty much sniff the back of Emo Guy's Lamborghini.
both those cars had a lift as Kelly is now into the pits. He's now served his pit stop. As Matt just comes into Canada corner, misses his braking a little bit there and wiggles on entry and just loses out a little bit there. Where's Kelly going to come out after all this?
Is where is Kelly? Where Kelly has he come into his box yet? No,
there's his box. So
how
he's
quick's
in.
The stop going to be? Good stop.
He's going to have to come behind the back of Matt and Emo Guy here, so it hasn't going long. It hasn't really worked out for him. So Matt and Emo Guy will clear him. That's one less car for Matt to worry about. But Kelly now into 10th place. He's ahead of Monkey Boy, Smokey, and Empava.
Overtaker's made a mistake. Look, the gap's 3 seconds.
He has made a mistake. Mazda really controlling this race ever since he's got in the lead. His lap times got quicker and quicker. The man who said he was struggling in practice, he's now the fastest man out on track. But Andy, I think, is going a little bit quicker. He's brought that gap down to the top 2. It was 34 seconds. It's 33 now. It's back to 34. So the time's yo-yoing up and down.
Yeah, we just need to see what lap time Andy does this lap as an indication of whether he's closing in or not. Matt is still stuck behind the Lamborghini of Emo Guy. He's got, I think, all the way up to Gary just in his sights as well. So Gary could play the ultimate team game here and start holding up D-Big's Peaceful and Emo Guy from Matt to get some more points.
Why would he do that at the start of the season? Mazda is into the pits. Mazda choosing to get his pit stop done.
Overtaker as well.
Overtaker is in. Now the important thing is, where is Andy? He's now coming to Canada corner.
Mazda's in his box. Is his stop going to be good? It's a long hold. It's a very long hold. He's away now. What about Overtaker? He's been held by Mazda. That's about the same hold. Where's Andy? Andy is coming into the final corner.
They're only halfway through the pit lane. This is going to be close, Jamie. They're going to be very, very close.
With Fury as well.
I think they'll just do it, but Andy's going to be right on the gearbox of Overtaker. Mazda will be off the limiter now. He'll be going. Overtaker is going to get done there by Andy. Andy with more pace is coming onto the back of Mazda. And we know, Jamie, myself and you have raced against Mazda, and Mazda is probably up there with one of the most difficult guys to overtake.
Oh yeah, he definitely is. Mazda is such a difficult guy to overtake. Matt still on the back of Emo Guy. Can he get? He's nowhere near close down the straight. What about Fury? Fury is about a second behind
Andy.
Overtaker. Andy is looking to get the job done already.
On his 100th appearance here, can he take his race win here? Can he start catching Fury? Fury had the opportunity to get 25 wins. Andy's gone very wide there and he makes a mistake. Mazda has just got to keep his cool and focus on the race ahead.
Yeah, Mazda can go as slow as he likes. If Andy can't get through, then it doesn't matter. Matt's still behind Emo Guy down in 9th place. Mazda just being nice and cautious here. The only problem is bringing overtaking Fury on to the back of them. But as we saw before the pits, Overtaker couldn't really catch on to the back of Mazda.
No, he could not. As we go into the kink, as Mazda is trying his absolute best to keep Andy behind him at this stage. Andy really on a charge here to try and take a win here. Just trying to look at most wins for Andy. Where is Andy?
He's so close. He's right on the gearbox of Mazda. He's going to try and get Slipstream up the straight. The BMW isn't going to... Oh, he's had a wiggle though. He's had a massive wiggle, and that's that chance well and truly gone. He's now going to have to try and possibly defend from Overtaker. Overtaker in his slipstream. Fury just close behind. Peaceful is on the back of D-Biggs as well for 6th place. Matt is still staring at the back of Emo Guy's Lamborghini. I think Overtaker's made a little mistake there because he's dropped off the back and Fury is in the boot. of the Lamborghini. As Fury's had a wiggle and gone wide. He's lost a few tenths, but
all right now
he's
is
no longer...
at the minute it's becoming the Mazda train, isn't it, Jamie? They're all getting stuck behind him. Matt is even closer to Emo Guy than he's ever been before now. He's literally in the gearbox of that Lamborghini. He could not get any closer. Currently Andy is on 17 race wins. He's currently matched with Matt at the minute. Can he go one more and make it 18? It's still myself leading the way with Fury in second, and then it's yourself, Big Boy Brasier, in third with most wins here at Simplay Motorsport. And Matimovic trying everything he possibly can to find a way past Emo Guy. And also
he had a massive wiggle there, so he's not able to get the undercut. Overtaker's just dropping a little bit off the back. I think Fury might... Yeah, he's made another mistake.
Yeah, he's really struggling here, Fury. The Mercedes does not seem to be handling as well as Mazda's Mercedes, but Mazda doing a fantastic job here of keeping the pressure on here on Andy. Overtaker as well is also just in the mix of this. This is going to be a great little fight towards the end. 3 laps to go, and it's still all to play for. Emo Guy has pitted. I'm pretty sure he did.
I think his Overtaker got a little bit on the curb there, not enough for Fury, because Fury's dropping slowly off the back of this.
He is just dropping off the back of this. Fury not able to stick with the leaders at the minute, but Mazda doing a cracking job to hold the pressure. And once again, these guys, Andy goes much quicker, so does Overtaker, and Fury, that 212, he really struggled that lap.
Matt has finally... Oh, his Emo Guy's gone.
Emo Guy's disconnected, and we know for a fact that Emo Guy does seem to struggle with internet issues, so he has gone from this race. Peaceful Explosion has got right onto the back of D-Biggs. Where is that fight gone? Where is D-Biggs? There he is. So Peaceful is bringing that gap down to Biggs at this minute, as Andy has made 2 tenths on the back of Mazda, as Mazda had a poor run here, and Andy is hunting him down. 2 yellow cars heading towards turn 3. Which one's going to come out on top? And Andy is starting to put the pressure down, but is he going to get too much in his own head right now?
Mazda had a little wiggle. Andy's having a look. He's committing. Mazda gives him the run. I think Mazda's going to have the drive out of the corner.
He's going to have the inside for the next corner as well, but Andy has gone around the outside of the car here of Matt. He's sticking with it. Overtaker's there as well. Mazda's just got to hang in there, and he's breaking into the corner. Andy sends it on him and goes deep. Mazda is going to hang on there. Andy's gone wide. Andy's made the position off track. He's going to have to get the position back, and Overtaker now takes the lead of this race. Whoa!
Andy's going to try and go back on the inside of Overtaker, but Overtaker's going to be on the outside for the king.
Oh, this is going to be messy. Mazda is right on the back of these two. He probably don't want to get too much involved. Andy's going to try and stick it, and he's hit him. That's put Mazda in the wall, Andy in the wall. Overtaker carries on. Fury now goes through. This is going to allow Gary. Where's Gary? He's not quite in this fight yet, but Gary... Oh, Mazda and Andy coming together there. Nowhere Mazda could have gone. Fury now is on the back of Overtaker. Fury could still get his 25th win here at Simplay Motorsport. Be 10 away from myself with most race wins here at Simplay Motorsport. He's just got to put Overtaker under enough pressure, but he can't put himself under pressure.
He's got 2 laps. He's got 2 laps to go. Andy's still in third, but he's...
What damage is he carrying?
Yeah.
What damage are these boys carrying at all? Because Gary will be wanting to hunt them down. Excuse me.
Yeah, like I said earlier, a podium for Gary is still on the cards here.
Very much so. After a little mistake earlier on, he is back in this. He will catch Mazda. Can he catch Andy as well? That is the question. As Fury's goal is to try and find a way past Overtaker. Emo Guy in the chat says just had a power cut, man, with an angry emoji. So he's lost a little bit of power and he's unable to finish this race. So that's a shame for him.
Yeah, I don't think Mazda's going to be very happy with Andy for overtaking off track. Gary could just, Gary's just walked past. Once again, thank you, Mama, for the carrots. As Mazda's going to come back down the inside, but he's going to have to drive. but is Gary going to hold it around the outside? He's going to have the straight line advantage, Matt. They make contact, Mazda keeps the position. Fury is within 4/10 of Overtaker.
Fury is right on the back of Overtaker. We know Overtaker's been struggling here. So Fury trying everything he possibly can to outscore him. Mazda defending for his life. Gary goes down the inside of Mazda.
Yeah, Gary had a little slide there, kind of used.
Gary's going to go right around the outside of the carousel. Is he going to keep his foot pinned? I don't think he's able to because Mazda's still on the inside. Fury closer than ever to Overtaker. 4/10 between those two as they go towards Canada corner, but I don't think he's close enough to make a move. Gary is right on the back of Mazda. Mazda has to lift. They both break.
Massively.
The longer it takes these two, the more and more chance Biggs is coming. Gary knows there's a podium on the line here. He's now going to clear Mazda. Brilliant racing from these two, especially Mazda with a damaged car. Gary drops it.
Where's D-Biggs? Here comes D-Biggs. Can D-Biggs get in front of Gary? He's going to go side by side through here. D-Biggs.
Oh, they touch.
He's got the move done. Elbows out there from D-Biggs. And Peaceful's going to jump Gary as well. So,
what has happened there? Peaceful and Gary coming together, lap 14 there, and they've just banged into each other.
Yeah, and Matt gets up a position. I think Smokey Devil and Monkey Boy have been having a good old battle this race. They've been, and Smokey's now clobbered the wall. That's
Fury.
Probably 10th place gone.
Fury's in the lead.
Fury's in the lead. So Fury has taken the lead on the last lap. Can Fury keep it all together?
He's carrying what he did at Brands Hatch Indy. He takes the lead of this race. In the touring cars, he did this to me, and he's now on his way to possibly take his 25th win here at Simplay Motorsport. He's only got half a lap to go, and he will do it. Overtaker in second, Andy in third. Andy given a massive lifeline with Mazda holding up the rest of the pack. Biggs is now onto the back of Mazda. Can Biggs find a way past Mazda as he's crippling his way back to the start-finish line? This is really hotting up. Peaceful's there as well, but Fury is on his way to possibly take another race win here at Simplay Motorsport.
Yeah, Fury's gapped Overtaker. So has Overtaker got any damage? Did he lose it at Lawnmower Corner?
Possibly. Overtaker's probably conceived to him and thought, basically, let's score points. He's outscoring Andy, he's outscoring Matt. You know, second place, he doesn't have to fight Fury for a win. Fury not with many points so far this season, and he is on his way. Fury CBK could possibly take his 25th win of this his career here at Simplay Motorsport. That'll make him 10 away from most wins in on Simplay Motorsport. 10 away from myself, but Fury comes into the final sector. Patient game for him, and into the final corner he goes. As we want your driver of the day, guys, get your votes in for driver of the day as Fury exits the final corner to come home to take his 25th win here at Simplay Motorsport. Congratulations to Fury CBK. He wins here for round 4 of the championship. Overtaker will come home in second. Andy is going to struggle his way back into third place position here on the podium once again. Mazda is going to drag his Mercedes back home into that 4th place position, with D Biggs coming home in that 5th place position. Guys, get your votes in for driver of the day. Peaceful in 6th place. Matt, best that he could do was 7th after a little mistake by himself. Gary with possibly a podium on the line, he comes home in 8th. Monkey Boy has managed to get past KLF, who's dropped down to 10th place position. So Monkey Boy, good points to him, and Peaceful are going to come home for 9th. KLF in 10th with his teammate not here. No Sati Apex to help him out. KLF will have to deal with 10th place position, and Smoking Hot Racing, Smokey Devil and M Plava bring up the rear as Mazda's quite happy with that win as M Plava really struggling with lag there.
Yeah, we'll get off.
We need to get we just need to get Fury and Overtaker and Andy back in the commentary box. If you could possibly do that for me, Jamie, as we have a run through of the standings here. And it is Fury who is your race winner. He takes his 25th career win at Simplay Motorsport, as Matt is currently doing the
and Plava disconnected at the end there. He did disconnect.
That's a shame for Emprava. But it is Fury who is your race winner. Overtaker will take second place. Third is Andy. Fourth is Mazda. Fifth is D-Big. Sixth is Peaceful. Seventh is Matt. Eighth is Gary131. Ninth is Monkey Boy. 10th is KLF 900. 11th is Smoky Devil. And bringing up the rear was Emprava. He did pretty much make it to the end. He just disconnected to the end. We'll have to discuss with the admin if they're going to reward him with those points, because he did pretty much make the end of the race.
And Fury got fastest lap as well, with a 2-minute 8.6.
Yeah, so Fury also with the fastest lap as well. So I've just seen the tables are up to date, and it looks like they are. And we do have Andy in the chat. And Andy, race 3, and up and down race again. It was 1 minute you were looking good, and you were hunted down the leaders, then a mistake, then you jumped most of them in the pits again, and then just at the end, you had a little tangle with Mazda and Overtaker.
Yeah, I made the move on Mazda, but outbrake myself, and then Overtaker was coming around the outside, and I thought I might have overtaken him off the track, but it was a lot of sort of it was a bit scrappy, and so I wasn't sure if he might have had a moment as well, because Overtaker came past both of us, which made me think that maybe it's kind of just one of those things where everyone's, you know, diving in. So it didn't really feel like an illegal overtake, because it's kind of like, I think we were all kind of like struggling in that corner. So I don't know, but anyway, I kept the position, and then Overtaker got me around the outside of the carousel, or he was alongside me on the outside of the carousel. Next corner, I tried to poke a nose in, backed out of it just too late, and clipped the curb on the inside. And the next thing I know, Mazda and I both having a trip to the wall together. So unfortunate, and I'm sorry to him that he kind of ruined his chances of taking the win. I don't know, it all happened quite quickly, to be honest, but yeah, it's done. It is what it is. But yeah, sorry to him.
Not quite the way you wanted your 100 race to go, but nonetheless, it is still good points. You walk away with Road America with a first and a third. You can't be too unhappy with that. It's definitely a good wheel-to-wheel fight with Overtaker as well. You get to know the level of him now, wheel-to-wheel. So you go to Imola feeling a little bit better, no?
Yeah, I mean, I could have walked away from here with the championship lead. So it feels like an opportunity missed. But you know, these things happen. It's a track where it's probably going to be Overtaker's worst track of the season, based on what we saw last week at Sakito. You know, he's a long way off of that level here, so it feels like this one went begging. But Embley's not a bad track, so we'll have to see how it goes. But yeah, it's a bit of a frustrating night, to say the least.
But nonetheless, 8 points behind Overtaker in the standings at the minute, so it's still all to play for anyway. It's only round 2, so there'll be circuits that definitely suit the BMW better, though, no?
Yeah, of course. No, it's a long season. And as we all know, the championship lead at this point, or indeed at any point up until the very last race, doesn't mean a whole lot. So I'll keep pushing, and hopefully we can hang in there and be there to be within striking distance at the end. That's the main thing.
Well, congratulations on the third place and the race win tonight, and also your 100th appearance here at Simplay Motorsport. Well done for that as well. And we'll see you in a week's time in Imola.
Thanks, Dan. Cheers.
Cheers. And we got Overtaker back in the chat as well, and really had to get your elbows out in that race, Overtaker. Really having to push the limits, but just not enough to catch Fury. Just lost at the end to Fury, and just, yeah, a bit of a scrappy race, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, but it was good result. Fury deserved the win. He was the fastest man today, in my opinion. Good race pace, good quality pace. So, of course, it would be a great battle. In the last lap, I dropped it, of course.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I think I'm very pleased with the result in Road America.
I was going to say, you leave Road America 2 podiums, you've got to be happy with that, considering it's a circuit you didn't like, you weren't looking forward to. You've got to be happy knowing that Imola, you're leading the championship by 8 points.
Yeah, I'm super happy. So I'm super happy, and I'm also congratulations to Fury. He deserved third place in the first race. He made the mistake, and then I made the mistake, so it's even now.
Either way, we move on to Imola next round. Are you looking forward to that round?
Yeah, of course. With no track limits, it's gonna be okay to drive. So
The
I'm looking forward to Imola.
The home of the Lamborghini. Can you bring it home for another win with that?
Yeah, let's see.
Well, congratulations on your second place tonight, mate, and congratulations on the podium earlier on as well, and also now leading the championship.
Cheers. Bye.
And we now move on to Fury, who is now on 25 wins here at Simplay Motorsport. You've reached the milestone. How does that feel, mate?
Oh, exhausting. It does feel good.
You're only now 10 wins away from myself, and with me only entering the touring cars, do you think you can catch me before the end of the season?
Hopefully, because obviously touring car and then GT3. It would be
And
nice
F1.
to go in. Oh yeah, and F1. Yeah, but I'm not quick enough in F1.
Well, after race one didn't quite go your way, but race two went a lot better. I think a little bit of luck possibly came into your way in race two, but you've got to be there to capitalise, haven't you?
Yeah, obviously I came out the pits, had a little damage, and Maz was holding them up as well, defending from Andy. Andy obviously snuck up his inside. I was watching it all unfold, trying to catch onto the back. They collided. I managed to keep the pace going, get on that second of Overtaker, get the slipstream, but coming into turn one on the last lap, he went a bit wide, clipped the curb, and it catapulted him into the wall, but he bounced back and was still on my behind.
Nonetheless, it's been a great round nonetheless for yourself. You bring yourself back into the championship. You're now 4th in the championship, 17 behind Overtaker. We now move to Imola. What are your feelings on Imola, and can the Mercedes come back?
Imola's a bit of an interesting one with the Mercedes, because obviously Mercedes being heavy and powerful, and the downhills, the hills, it just lifts and spins, but hopefully can keep it going and bring home more points and hopefully get on the back of Overtaker in the championship.
And just a shout out to your teammate as well, Maz. They did a fantastic job at most of that race, holding the lead, and just a little bit of bad luck towards the end. But nonetheless, Teletubby Motorsport looked very good there tonight and has dropped yourselves up into 3rd place position. So good points for the team though.
Yeah, it was interesting, but obviously it would have been nice to have Teletubby Motorsport and the podium together. Just sad him and Andy came together, but that's racing, I suppose. There's always incidents.
That is racing, but nonetheless, mate, congratulations on your 25th win here at Simplay Motorsport.
Cheers, mate.
And we'll just do a quick run through of the championship standings. It is Overtaker who leads away with 78 points, ahead of Andy, who's on 78 points, separating those two. But Matahimovic is just behind them as well. He's on 69 points, 9 points behind them. Fury getting himself back into this fight with 17 behind. Gary in 5th on 33 points and 45 behind. D-Biggs matches him as well in 6th place position. Mazda now crawls himself up in the 7th place position with Peaceful Explosion in 8th place now. Emo Guy in 9th. Smoky Devil in 10th. KLF 900 and Satier Paris. The teammates together 11th and 12th with Disco in 13th. 14th is Monkey Boy. 15th is Argent, who wasn't here to race. And M Plava brings up the rear. The championship standings look like this. Silent of the Lambos, Lamborghini leads the way of 106 points, 4 ahead of Jaeger Motorsport, who are 4 points behind them. Teletubby Motorsport gets themselves into the fight as well with 91 points and 15 behind them, with Slingshot Motorsport down with 84 points, 22 behind, with Audio Sport Prolapse in that 5th place position with 56 behind. Pushing the limits, Audi R8 in 6th place position with 43 points. Simplay Motorsport in 7th with 41, and Smoking Hot Racing in the final position with 34 points. Jamie, final words from yourself?
Yeah, so it's been good racing tonight. Well done to Fury on his 25th win here at Simplay Motorsport. Hopefully more of the same at Imola next week. Back to an old school circuit that we all know and love, and so hopefully we can see more of the same.
Yeah, definitely so. And your driver of the day?
My driver of the day, it's got to go to, I'd say, Andy.
Big boy Brasier gives it to Andy. I'm gonna have to say, for me, it's got to be D-Biggs. He looked a lot better in the Audi today and has scored very good points for him and Argent. But that is it from us here at Simplay Motorsport for round 2 of the season. Round 3 and 4 are done here in Road America. We'll see you in a week's time in Imola, but make sure you tune in on Sunday night as we will be heading to this circuit of the Americas. We stay in America. Can Gary keep it on track and not take out half the pack? And can Matt extend his championship lead? Also, make sure you tune in on Tuesday night as we head to Silverstone Classic for the Thruxton layout in the touring cars. And also, we will return for the GT3 Pro Am and Pros at Imola in a week's time. Can Matt stay around and take his PlayStation away so that he can keep his championship fight going? Can Andy take another race win, and can Overtaker extend his championship lead? But from myself and Andy here this evening, Andy and Jamie,
Jamie,
that's the one. I'm gonna have to sleep here. From Jamie and myself and
me
Andy
as well.
and Andy. Good night.
Bye.
Good night. Good night.